Microphone on. Lights on. How are you? Thanks so much for tuning in, everybody. It's always nicer when you are here. And you know it's true. Hi, Jackie Cat. Okay, so I have a fuck ton of videos for you, in case anyone is interested. We're doing a whole bunch of stuff, you know. We have all kinds of different things going on here. Craig's still working on getting the browser window pulled up. Saw something. His kid, Craig, my stepson, is doing I don't know, I can't find it. But anyways, he's playing he's doing a live game show. He's hosting a live game show on the Twitch, which is cool. Let's see. And we are here doing this thing that we do every night at 7 p.m. Pacific time. It's your Wake and Bake News at 7 p.m. And I'm your host, Moxie. And there's my Boo Bear, but he's not laying down by the river, so you won't be able to see him. Let's see. Oh, and there is thunder and lightning tonight. So if we have an issue, we may like blow up here or something because of thunder and lightning. So we will. If that happens, I'm just giving you a heads up. The dogs are acting a little bit crazy. One of them is hiding in the grow tent right now. And a few minutes ago, one was hiding in one grow tent and the other one was hiding in the other grow tent. So we got that going on. I can't see. Oh, there. That's Craig's son, and he's hosting a Jeopardy Quarantine Edition on his Twitch channel. And obviously, it's very exciting for him at this time. He is just full of energy, as you can tell. And if I look like that when I come out to do the show, you guys let me know, because we'll have to stop doing the show then. But I thought this is pretty cool. And Craig is saying we'll have to try and do a Mox News edition of Jeopardy here coming up. So if you guys like that idea, that's the whole point behind showing you what's going on here with CJ's Jeopardy. He's got it hooked up, man. I'm not sure how he's doing it, but I like the way it looks. I like the idea of doing a game show a whole lot more than you can imagine. But I have to. I think it's a very, very good idea, and if this application makes it fairly simple to do something like this, I would love to do a game show on Fridays or something. You know, we'll have like players and everything. It'll be exciting. It's something to think about, anyways. It's something we're thinking about. In case you, I mean, this is still an evolving thing, what we're doing here on this live broadcast. I'm looking desperately to try and find something other than coronavirus. I fucking hate coronavirus. It's all day, every day in the news. You know, yesterday Michael from Southern California was like, "Oh, did you see this in the news? It happened over the weekend." I was like, "No, man." You know, did you see this? It happened over the weekend? No, man. I try like hell to avoid the news on the weekend. You know, I mean, if there was like a Bernie Sanders rally going on or something, I would try and capture that. But you know, other than that, or you know, a Trump rally or whatever. But other than that, I don't see anything that I want to focus on. And I highly recommend that you guys try and get a break from the news too. So that's the whole idea behind the Jeopardy and such. Well, I think it would be fun too. You know, I think it'd be fun. I think we have a really good time. We could even have prizes, like a Mox News T-shirt. We still have a Mox News t-shirt to give away. And we got one t-shirt left. And we got a Mox News pillow, and we got a Mox News poster. And the Mox News poster is pretty cool. Actually, the pillow is pretty cool, too. Hey, Wilco, did you get your poster yet? You think it looks good? I think it looks pretty good. I took a pretty close look at it. I think it looks pretty good. Yeah, cool. And if anybody's interested in that, Craig can direct you where to get posters at, or pillow, or we're working on a t-shirt. So you know, Mox News Survival Tour. Because how many times have they tried to take us down, right? And we're survivors, damn it. We're still here. And we are cooking with gas, motherfuckers. Need I show you? Because I will, and I can. And I think it's a very good idea that we do that. But we'll have to play a clip while I warm up the lovely dab rig that we're using this evening, which is the same dab rig we used last evening, and the evening before that, and the evening before that, and the same dab rig that we use every day since we got it. Because that's why we got it. So we could use it. What is the point if you don't use the damn thing, right? Ooh, that looks almost sparkly. That almost looks sparkly. Can you see it sparkle? Oh, I try and make it sparkle. Oh, that looks like a good one. I'll take it. You watch me. I'll take it. Anyways, I hope you guys are doing good. I hope you're keeping a good attitude. I hope you're staying positive and understanding that, again, we will get through this. We always do. So let's see. I think I will. Where did I want to start this evening? Oh, we'll do the air pollution one first. So you can see where the lady says that 4.2 million people die every year because of polluted air. Imagine that she's just saying polluted air. She's not saying polluted water. She's not saying contaminated land. This is just from what's in the air. So, and the point of this is, why am I bringing this up, is because, we don't go, the air, which is sad. Because I do that. I say, hey, the air, the water, the air, the water, all the time. But, here we are.
This crisis has another enormous side effect in Seattle and worldwide. Because so few of us are driving or flying, carbon emissions and air pollution have dropped dramatically. KIRO 7's Gary Horker has a look at what this global change in our air could mean for climate change.
No one could have predicted a month ago that the constant flood of choking Seattle area congestion on every road and freeway for miles would just stop. People pressing for change in our fossil fuel habits were not hoping for this.
We're seeing reduced emissions for really horrible reasons.
Amy Snover is the director of UW's Climate Impacts Group, and while she points out that the China quarantine caused a massive drop in CO2 and nitrogen dioxide levels that you can actually see from space,
I expect to see emissions go right back up again.
She says every time there's been a global financial crisis, climate-changing emissions have quickly risen again. But she says so many fewer people are doing this. It could create a long-term air-clearing beneficial trend.
It may well. I mean, whoever thought that a TV news reporter could do his job without leaving his house?
And she says this pandemic could teach us a global scientific lesson.
That actions that I take today will affect the impacts on you tomorrow. And that actions that people take in other parts of the world will influence us.
She says we're all getting used to seeing scientific forecasting when it comes to coronavirus, and many more people might react to scientific climate change forecasting, which threatens lives long term.
Our choices right now and every day, as they always are really important in determining that future.
Gary Horker, Kairos 7 News.
And there is an immediate clean air impact. The World Health Organization says 4.2 million people die from the impacts of polluted air every year. And the cleaner air in China now may eventually extend the lives of tens of thousands of people. Today, the Trump administration is set to roll back a major climate change initiative. It is pulling back Obama-era mileage standards. The Obama administration had set tougher mileage standards to increase electric car production. The Trump administration argues relaxing mileage standards will save automakers the cost of new emissions technology and make vehicles in turn cheaper. Opponents say people will spend far more on fuel than what they save.
All right, so I have the rig all heated up. It will be ready momentarily. And again, the reason that I point this out about the air pollution and it being obvious that we can do something about it is because we can do something about air pollution. It kills and I talk about pollution all the time, you guys, because this is actually something that's very important to me because it's something that humans could be changing. You know, it's again, I keep telling you this debate about climate is a distraction. Because the real discussion that needs to be had is that humans pollute too fucking much. And what are we going to do about it? And instead, we talk about the fucking weather. Oh, you people are so easily distracted. It's a matter of pollution. If you want to fix what's wrong here, you have to start with pollution. Oh, woo! All right. So, and the reason that you have to start with pollution is because it is something that we can do something about immediately. Every single person on the planet, pretty much, can begin to, at least in the Western world, could immediately begin to pollute less. But there's no campaign that's like, oh, this is the big failing of the planet. This is where we're letting everyone down. Every human being, every fucking creature on the planet is with pollution. We're just being too stupid and we shit everywhere we go. We fucking literally shit. We literally leave a chemical spill trail behind us everywhere we fucking go. It's disgusting. And it could be so much different, and I think it would be very easy. And the reasons and there's a lot of reasons that they don't want it, besides it costing money to stop polluting, and there being, it being a matter of fucking this capitalist fucking dream that's being sold to you, that you're going to be rich one day because you live in a capitalist society where anyone who works hard can get their piece of the American dream. Look, we have to have priorities on this planet. And the priorities have to be each other in making the planet a better place for those that are coming after us. End of story. Not fucking baseball or football or soccer. Those things are stupid. Okay? And if that's your priority, if you think this is what the priorities need to be, then your children deserve no future. Because you had the chance and you chose to waste it. I'm not trying to fucking put this on you guys or bring you down. I'm saying, 4.2 million people from air pollution every year. Okay? So, this is something that's easy to fix. We're fixing right now. Coronavirus is saving many of those people because the air is being given a chance to fucking resuscitate itself and get some of its fucking garbage out of it, and it's so, if the air pollution kills 4.2 million people, you have to wonder how many people the coronavirus is actually saving right at this moment, right? Could it be 1 million people? Could it be saving more people than it's killing? Huh? I don't know. What I'm saying is that we can all save those people. If that's what matters, is that you don't want people to die from preventable things, which is, I guess, what you're acting like now with this flu thing, with this COVID-19. But I guess you're not really afraid of other people dying. I guess you're afraid of yourself dying. I don't know. It's really, but the whole thing is that I just want to make a better planet for everyone. I want a cleaner planet. I want there to be drinkable water for the generations that come after us, man. Okay? I really do. And I'm not really involved in that at all. So if I'm just saying this gives us a chance to reprioritize everything, and if we have that chance, why wouldn't we want to take it? We can move forward, making this place something that's good for everyone. Because we're all in that same boat clearly now, and this is what I keep saying: is that when you lift up the least amongst us, and give them a better life, make the world better for them, make your community a better place for them, you make your community a better place. And why wouldn't you want to live in a better place, in a better world? And it all comes down to this rich thing, this I'm going to be rich one day and I want to get mine, and that's why the rich people, why I put a lot of this stuff on the rich people, because if the rich people wanted it to be different, the rich people could mandate that it be different. They don't want that because they got theirs, and they don't want any, and they're not willing to share any of it to lift up the least amongst us, to make this a better place for all of us. And you know why they don't want to make it a better place for all of us? Because they like the separation. It's what makes them special. It makes them so much more better than us. When they can look down on the poor people and go, oh. So I'm just saying, we can do something about pollution. We can do something about poverty. We can start over from here and move forward, making this a genuinely amazing place to be, instead of just this place where we all fucking struggle every day after day to try and make sure that we're able to pay the rent at the end of the month or the first of the month, whatever it is. Because that's how many people have that life now, right? How many people is that the life? Craig has this up over here. So I'm just saying, I'm not trying to bring you guys down. I love the planet. I love all the creatures on the planet. And when I say I love the planet, I love the earth like a close friend. And I believe that she recognizes me as an individual. So this is why I reach out to all of you to let you know that, this can be a really special place for everybody. Instead of people dying from hunger and famine and drought and all these really basic things that the 21st century should have no problem fucking snapping their fingers and overcoming. But we can't, and you know why? The rich people. That's why. It's the truth. The rich people don't want to. The rich people like there being famines. Like, you know how Hillary Clinton laughs? Like a cackling person, like a cackling crazy person? Because she knows that she could be making a difference for the people suffering from famine, for the people suffering, for the upcoming generations. And instead of doing so, she fucking just serves pure evil. And why? So that she can have power and money. And that's why she cackles like a crazy person at the end of every sentence. Because she is a crazy person. She's made herself completely insane. And it's obvious to anyone who's paying attention. So, again, this is where we are in the world, and it can be made different. It should be made different. There's no real reason for it to go on with this, running off the cliff like a bunch of proverbial lemmings, while you're taking selfies while you're doing it. The view from the edge is so pretty. And that's why I'm here now, by the way, because the view from the edge is so pretty. And I came to check it out. And again, there's no real anything that I'm going to leave behind other than this vibration that I've set up on the planet. So it's not like I have to go, oh, my poor babies. It's all the poor babies of the world, who I care about. And I hate that, look what's happening to the Puget Sound orcas. Why is it happening to the Puget Sound orcas? Because it would cost Jeff Bezos and Bill Gates way too much money in order to save the precious Puget Sound orcas for another generation, for the next generation to come. Because they could have done it. They could have mandated. They have the power to say, no, this is what we're going to make happen in this area. And the priority is saving the Puget Sound orcas. And they choose not to do that. Because they don't give a fuck about, whether there's orcas or not. That's stupid. Alright, so enough of me rambling. I need a fan for my grow tent. I don't need it just yet, but I have to figure out an oscillating fan for the grow tent. But I can't find anything that has is a decent actual, according to ratings and reviews, is actually a decent product. So I don't know what to do about that. Oh, I think what's going to happen is I'm going to get a floor fan. Sam said he's got a floor fan that he doesn't use, so I'll just put that in the grow tent, and it can be adjusted where it needs to be, more or less. I guess that should probably work. Quarantine backlash. Let's see. I'm gonna go ahead and play. Well, I'm gonna play this clip because this is something that's coming up that you should know about. Is that the Congress and lawmakers are currently debating whether or not to allow the presidential election to be a vote by mail election. So I thought that you might want to hear about that because that's how they do it in Washington State. All the election, all the voting now is now done by mail. So it works very well.
Members of Congress are talking about changing how we vote for president come November because of COVID-19. The idea of voting by mail is already allowed in a few states. Some are on the Hill think this is needed to be expanded quickly for other states now. One major hurdle would be getting the systems in place in time.
Some of the policy solutions out there where people are saying, well, let's just all go vote by mail, that's going to be easier in some places and much more difficult in other places for a couple of reasons.
5 states allow all elections by mail, including Washington State. At least 21 other states allow it for smaller elections, but not for president.
And the reason that this works so well in Washington State and other places where they have mail-in voting is because you don't have to leave the house. You don't have to you get it a week ahead of time, 2 weeks ahead of time. It's not like you got to get in this little fucking box and then you'd be like, oh, I've never heard of this stuff before. You have like all this stuff that's on the ballot and then you can like look it up. You can go, well, I don't know this person. I'm going to look up this person who I never heard of before. I think it's a really good way to go. I think this is how all elections should be, if not actually on the phone. I think if it was on the phone, a lot of people would participate, but I don't know how much I would trust it. This way, with a mail-in ballot, there should be an awesome paper trail, which I like a lot, the idea of, right? So I think a mail-in ballot is an excellent idea, and I believe it's something that I have suggested in the past. So I have the story about a cruise ship in Florida where the mayor of the city and the governor is not allowing the cruise ship to dock because they have sick people on board and dead people, which is really sad.
At this hour, cruise line officials are working to dock multiple ships that are stranded at sea because of the coronavirus outbreak. One of them is the Zandam, which is currently making its way past Jamaica, hoping officials will allow it to dock in Florida. Officials say 4 passengers on that ship have died. Several others have tested positive for COVID-19. Nearly 200 other passengers are currently experiencing flu-like symptoms. Its sister ship, the Rotterdam, has more than 1,000 people on board and is also hoping to dock in Florida. But Florida's governor, Ron DeSantis, does not want them to come.
I think a lot of these are foreigners. We cannot afford to have people who aren't even Floridians dumped into South Florida using up those valuable resources.
Back on March 13th, the Cruise Lines International Association announced that it would suspend operations for 30 days and direct cruise ships at sea to end their trips. Now, at that time, the Cruise Line International Association reported 40 ships with nearly 90,000 passengers were out at sea. The association now says that 3.6% of its total fleet of 277 ships are completing their trips. That means right now about 10 cruise ships are still at sea, and they say 5 ships are currently in the process of disembarking, which means there are 5 that are not, of which we have just mentioned 2. NBC's Kerry Sanders joins me live from Fort Lauderdale. Kerry, this is an issue. There are people who are very wary about this. It was about 3 weeks ago that the president said he didn't want the cruise ship off the coast of San Francisco docking because it would increase the numbers of people with coronavirus. I would assume that our thinking about this has evolved since then.
Well, what you see right now, according to Carnival's chief maritime officer, Bill Burke, he is representing, because Carnival owns Holland America, he's representing and saying that right here, Fort Lauderdale, Port Everglades, it is the port of last resort for these two ships. As we go live into the Broward County Chamber meeting right now, they are discussing issues around allowing these ships to come here with those on board, 4 dead, 8 who have tested positive for COVID-19, 200 who have flu-like symptoms that they say, this is Carnival now saying they must assume that they all have coronavirus. Whether they allow those ships in here and let the passenger off. One of those passengers on board making a direct plea to county commissioners to please allow the ships to port, allow them to dock, allow them off.
Because I am a U.S. citizen, and I should not be denied entry into the U.S. You do not even know if I'm sick or not. I am healthy, and you really don't care. You're just saying you don't want us to come back to our house, back to our county, back to our home. I don't understand that.
If this is a wartime, if we're fighting a war against coronavirus, this is very much a wartime type decision. Do the county commissioners decide that they will sacrifice, essentially, those on board, prevent the ships from coming in, and hope that they can deal with coronavirus on board those two ships with the doctors that are on board, potentially more people dying? Or do they allow the ships to make its way to the port here, to dock, allow the healthy passengers off, take the sick passengers where? On board to be treated, potentially to the hospitals here? That, of course, is what the governor fears, Allie, that those sick passengers come off. When they come off, they take up bed space that folks who live here in this part of the state will need. There are a number of foreign nationals on board. I mean, the hundreds. We're talking about folks from Australia, from New Zealand, from England, from Belgium, from the Netherlands. When you add them all up, the governor says, why would we want to make space in our hospitals for them? And then finally, as I point over here and we take a look at the Crown Princess, this ship came in today, Allie, at around 8 this morning. At 8:30, a 911 call was made to the Broward paramedics. They said, we need help. We have a member of our crew who's exhibiting COVID-like symptoms. They had to come here, take him off. And the port authorities really got no advance notice, needed the Broward County commissioners. So they're all a little wow, antsy about what they're going to do. And really, I would say, I don't know who makes the decision here, because no matter what they do, they're going to have people who are upset with them. But they say that they may make a decision as early as today, Allie.
Right, and Kerry, of course, it's sort of strange that this comes as a surprise and it's catching people off guard, given that this is so much of what Florida does. Kerry Sanders, thank you for your reporting. Kerry Sanders for us in Fort Lauderdale. It's also important to note that most top cruise ship companies are not eligible for relief from the $2 trillion stimulus bill. President Trump has touted the possibility of them getting it, but they don't qualify because a majority of the country's largest publicly traded cruise lines are incorporated offshore. Panama, Bermuda, Liberia, that's where their ships are flagged, meaning they do not pay federal income taxes in the United States and typically do not follow U.S. regulations.
Okay. So I think that's pretty messed up. I'm pretty sure that the people who own the cruise line think it's pretty messed up. And again, I mean, these are Americans in need of this in terrible distress, you know. And this governor, I mean, you don't have to fucking let him off the ship necessarily, but you have to let him dock and you have to let him get help, you know. I have no idea, but these are the same people, you understand, that refuse to say that marijuana has any medicinal purposes, properties, any medicinal qualities, because they don't care about who it might help. What they care about is it going to hurt their pharmaceutical stocks, and that's all. That's all that matters. So, you know, that's again, this comes back down to this rich thing, you know, this money thing, this all that matters is me getting mine. And I don't look at you guys like that. I don't think that that's who you are. I think, again, it comes... This is why I have such a problem, such a hard-on for the fucking rich, right? Because the rich own the politicians. And if the rich said, God damn it, we want a 21st century infrastructure to fucking power our businesses in the United States, then there'd be a 21st century infrastructure project happening in the biggest way imaginable. But instead, they fucking take their bullshit companies and they move them offshore. And it's just all so... I'm just so tired of it. You know, I mean, the people are good. The people are good. The people want, I think, I mean, I believe that. I want to believe that, you know, that the people want to leave behind an amazing fucking planet that the people who come after us can enjoy and the people who come after them can enjoy. And I just don't know how you couldn't care less about that sort of thing. And again, I don't mean to put that on to you guys. I'm just saying this is where I'm coming from. This is what I see. This is you know, I don't know. I mean, you know, I might be the biggest dreamer of all time, and that's why, you know, there's this you know, whatever going on. You know, because I just, you know, because somehow I think it's okay, you know, that people can actually change if we rallied together and decided that we had different priorities and we were going to make something better to leave behind for those who were coming from, you know, I don't know. It's just so stupid to talk like that. I mean, it's just worthless. I mean, is that where we're at? I mean, I guess we got to get through this now. And, you know, I saw something today about Trump wanting to push through a $2 trillion infrastructure project, which is what was on the table 2 years ago, and he got pissed off at Nancy Pelosi and Schumer and stormed out of a fucking meeting instead of signing the fucking $2 trillion infrastructure project that they agreed to. But again, in these kind of times, it most likely is just another giveaway to you know, big corporations and big business and, you know, such. Would be my guess, to make sure they're able to get through this fucking COVID-19, which I want everybody to get through it. You know, I mean, I really want to see the light at the end of the tunnel on this thing. Desperately. I really do. But I don't know how, I don't see it yet. But hopefully we'll see it here shortly. Okay, so the last story was about the cruise ships, and then this is about an aircraft carrier, which again is pleading with the military. The commander of the aircraft carrier is pleading with them to get his 5,000 sailors off the damn aircraft carrier, where they can be tested and quarantined properly so that they can, you know, stop the spread of the COVID-19 on this aircraft carrier. So I thought that was kind of an important story, and it kind of goes along with the cruise ship thing, so I wanted to play that for you.
This evening, that urgent call for help continues from the captain of that U.S. aircraft carrier, the USS Theodore Roosevelt. We've been following this for days now, and tonight there are now at least 70 sailors with the virus. Here's Martha Raddatz.
With the USS Roosevelt still docked in Guam, an urgent plea from its captain. Brent Crozier wants his crew off the COVID-infected ship as soon as possible. Writing to Navy leadership, "We are not at war. Sailors do not need to die." The nuclear-powered aircraft carrier pulled into Guam last week with nearly 24 of its sailors testing positive. Those crew members were removed and isolated. Now, with more than 70 testing positive, Crozier wants nearly all his sailors in quarantine conditions on land for 14 days. It is no wonder crowded corridors, packed sleeping quarters, and communal meals make it impossible on these ships for sailors to keep their distance. They will leave about 10% of the crew on board to make sure that nuclear reactor is running properly. Also security to make sure the weapons are secure. David?
All right, Martha, our thanks to you again tonight. And when we...
So, and you can see how it'd just be impossible to contain, this kind of apparently weaponized virus in quarters like that. And this commanding officer of this aircraft carrier, I guess, is saying, we're not at war. Our sailors shouldn't be dying here. Get them off, like pleading and demanding. I mean, you would think that the military would be able to take care of this in a little bit more uniform manner, right? Like, oh yeah, we got this covered. We're prepared for this. No problem. Let's get those sailors off there so nobody has to die. But again, that is not in any way, shape, or form the Pentagon's priority, that no one should have to die. And we should all know that by now, which is really sad because, being in charge of all the weapons in the world, you should make it a top priority that no one has to die if you were in charge of all the weapons in the world. Absolutely. Unless, of course, you're trying to sell them and spread them everywhere you can so you can make these giant hot spots. Then you have to go and put out because you're the only people who can do it. Good plan. What could possibly go wrong? Okay, so the zoo up here in Olympia, a couple of zoos are getting shut down, and I thought that there was some cute video of the zoo animals, so I thought I would play that video for you.
Order. The coronavirus shutdown means Metro Parks Tacoma had to close its aquarium and both zoos. Hundreds of employees are losing their jobs. Cairo 7 South Sound Bureau reporter Kevin McCarty looked into what this means for the parks and the animals as the shutdown drags on.
Today was the last day on the job for more than 500 employees and volunteers for Metro Parks Tacoma, and you can see why. This is Point Defiance. The zoo is closed down. The aquarium's closed down. It's virtually a total shutdown. So Metro Parks Tacoma had no choice but to hand out layoff notices.
It's just a really sad day for us. We've never contemplated something like this.
Metro Parks Tacoma has never faced a situation quite like this, shutting down the main attractions at their parks, including the Point Defiance Zoo and Aquarium and Northwest Trek. The shutdown means massive losses in revenue. 44% of Metro Parks' budget comes from earned revenue or fees paid by park goers. Shutting down means losses could reach $13 million depending on the length of the closure. That loss means 500 seasonal staff members and volunteers have been laid off effective today.
But it is certainly our understanding that most, if not all, of these folks will qualify for unemployment benefits.
You want to say hi to all your fans out there?
Some staff members need to stay on the job. Animals at the Point Defiance Zoo and Aquarium and Northwest Trek still need to be fed and cared for.
A lot of people are working from home these days, but zookeepers are definitely a career where you can't do that.
Zoo officials began preparing for the shutdown before the first coronavirus cases hit in the U.S. and there is food to last for the animals if the shutdown continues past April 30th.
As here at Northwest Trek, we have a year's supply of frozen fish in our freezer right now, so we can feed animals like our eagles and our otters and our bears.
Right now, Metro Parks Tacoma doesn't know when venues like Point Defiance are going to reopen, and when they do reopen, what that's going to look like. In Tacoma, Kevin McCarty, Cover 7 News.
Those walruses are so smart, or I'm not sure if they're like really smart, but I think they are. I've been up close to a couple of them, and they seem very, very aware of what's going on. Even though they're like big old slugs that kind of just lay there, they seem like they're on it. So I thought that was kind of cute. The walrus waving. That was nice. Okay, so, I have more interesting news. Chris Cuomo, I don't know if you remember, but like a week ago or 10 days ago, I was saying Chris Cuomo looks kind of ill. Chris Cuomo has tested positive for the COVID-19. So I thought you guys would want to know that. Since you're news hounds, you probably already know it. But
at the state level, we're seeing a lot of leaders extending the orders for people to stay at home unless they have essential business. We saw it today in Illinois. As the governor there, J.B. Pritzker, said all Illinoisans should stay home unless they have essential business to do through the end of April.
My priority through each and every one of these decisions has been and continues to be saving as many people's lives as possible. That's the one goal that I will put above all others every time.
J.B. Pritzker says he hopes to curb the spread in Illinois, keep medical facilities from becoming overwhelmed. That's what New York is already dealing with. More than 300 people died since Monday there. Nearly 11,000 people are hospitalized statewide. And today in New York City, Mayor Bill de Blasio said this battle is just beginning. Listen.
I think the time horizon that's of deepest concern to New York City is April, May. I think thereafter, we pray that we start to come out of this, but it won't be instant. You know, it'll be going up the mountain and you come back down the mountain. It's going to take time. Remember, it was weeks ago that our health commissioner said her best estimate was we would have a chance to return to normal around September, but that's an ever-changing reality.
We've been showing you this pretty incredible video from Central Park in New York, where they are making effectively a makeshift field hospital to help overflow at Mount Sinai, 68-bed facility there in Central Park, an incredible visual to see out of the biggest city in the country, in one of the richest countries in the world, and you see how indiscriminate a pandemic is in terms of where and when it attacks. Governor Cuomo in New York, obviously at the forefront of this battle because things are so bad in his state. Today, things got a little more personal for him. His brother, CNN anchor Chris Cuomo, has now tested positive for the virus. Listen to the governor talking about his brother today.
You just see one dimension, right? You see a person in his job, and in his job, he's combative and he's argumentative and he's pushing people. But that's his job. That's really not who he is. He's a really sweet, beautiful guy. And he's my best friend.
Chris Cuomo, by the way, says he's feeling good. He's going to continue to anchor his show from his basement, but his brother says he's a good example of why social distancing is so important. That's true even for doctors.
Well, but that's quite a bit different, right? We're not on the video anymore. We're live, so you know. But yeah, that sounds quite a bit different, Pete.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm not really, you know, I'm 33 years old, bro. My heart is good. Don't worry about it.
Good. Well, I just say and be safe. That's all. Are you so you're like essential at work? So are you going in 5 days now, or?
No, I mean, most of the work I can do from home, but I have to a lot of the work that I'm doing right now is I'm like developing products like in a lab for clients. Like there's this one client that wants a shampoo, right? So I'm developing a shampoo for them in my lab. You know, obviously I can't do that from home, but you know, when it comes to like writing documents and stuff, I can do that from home. But you know, lately I'm trying to do all my lab work and then wrap that up as quick as I can so I can just work from home, you know what I mean? But
is it like a cancer shampoo or you know, like a Rogaine, or what kind of shampoo?
oh no, dude, it's just this it has this shampoo has actually 3% salicylic acid.
Huh, interesting.
Which is good for it's good for exfoliating the skin, removing, you know, dead skin from the scalp.
Huh.
Good if you have dandruff and stuff like that, but I'm not like saving lives or anything like that.
Well, you know. So well, that's good. You get to work from home. How many days a week are you going into the office?
Lately, because I've been having a lot of lab work to do, so I've been going in.
You said you're not drinking during the week, right, Pete?
You know.
Never mind.
Yeah, usually I'm pretty good about it, but this whole quarantining, self-isolation.
Oh, well, that'll throw anybody off for sure.
There's too much ice in my beverage. Is that it?
No, as your lips smacking.
Mm.
You're like,
It's just so good. No, passion fruit. Hurricanes, people. If you've never tried a hurricane cocktail, go out and get yourself a bottle of Welch's passion fruit and make some fucking hurricanes.
Welch's, huh?
Ay. So good.
So are you? So you said there's only like 100 and some people in Rhode Island who have the virus, though, huh? Or have been.
Last time I checked,
confirmed.
which was 2 days ago, we had 113. It's probably, you know, doubled by now, but whatever. That's still pretty low compared to the 1 million people we have here. Obviously, that's no excuse to not worry about it, but I'm just saying, you know.
Do you guys use the mask at your work?
I don't. I mean, if I had them, I would. But you know, there's a shortage on those. There's a shortage on fucking paper towels. There's a shortage on fucking everything. So you know,
towels.
The people that need it right now are the healthcare workers. So you know, whatever. But I mean, the best thing that you can do is just to wash your hands and not touch your fucking face. As long as you do that, you're good. You know. So.
Yeah, I think again, just you know, be safe. You know, wash your hands, and you know, just don't go out to like unnecessary kind of things where there are people. You know.
Yeah, I'm more concerned about what's gonna come of this, like economically, with all these people not working and shit.
Yeah. Yeah. I think everybody.
I think the depression that's going to come out of this is going to be far worse than any of this virus shit.
Well, yeah. I think that, you know, we're in completely uncharted territory here, Pete. Okay, so, you know, and we're pretty much all in the same boat. So it can't be like, oh, everybody is in fucking shit land. You know, I mean, it's, we're stronger. We're too. We have too many resources. We have too much money for us to be all not able to, you know, move forward like, you know, civilized humans or whatever. You would think.
Yeah, I mean, right, exactly, and it's not like, you know, this virus has affected the whole world. It's not like it has affected just the United States. So it's going to be a global sort of slowdown. So
yeah, it's like I said, we're all in the same boat at this point. It doesn't matter. You know, we got to get through the virus bullshit, and then really, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. Nobody knows what's going to happen to the economy. So, But yeah, it looks like it's going to take a big hit. But we'll, like I said, we always get through this shit, man. We go through. Well, this is, like I said, uncharted territory, but we're going to get through it. We always do. It's what we do. It's what it means to be, the survivors that we are. Fucking march or die. I told you guys that so many times before we got to here. So.
Yeah, man.
So how's the gummy business, Pete?
It's going great.
Has your boss re-upped?
No, dude, she hasn't. It's funny. It's crazy. She's like, she has 2 gummies. Dude, these gummies that I make, they're like 10 and 15 milligrams a piece, I think.
Yeah.
And she has 2, and she's good.
Well, that's a pretty good dose for most people.
I have about 13 at a time.
Yeah.
One more. So it just, it boggles my mind. And my boss she's like a big Puerto Rican lesbian lady. Like, she actually weighs more than me, and she takes fucking 2 when she's good. It's crazy how
30 milligrams is actually probably a pretty decent dose for most people. Most people that aren't eating, could never handle that. They would be like, I'm never eating marijuana again.
Yeah, a good dose for me is I think it's about 140 or so.
Well, yeah, it's like, did you hear Michael? He's finally started eating marijuana. He's like, he has coconut oil that he made, right? And he's taking it like a teaspoon of coconut oil and mixing it in with his soup now. Did you hear that? He was talking about it last night.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
I've seen people doing it so many ways. People putting it in their coffees, smoothies.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I used to put it in my coffee. When I worked at Denny's, when I worked graveyard shift at Denny's, I in Maui, I was working there, and these guys came in, and I was serving them, whatever it is they wanted, and they were getting ready to take off, and they go, here, this is for you. And they put a ball of hash in my fucking hand that was like, the size of a silver dollar, but like a ball. And like, here, this is for you. Like 5-6 grams of hash, And I'm like, what is this? And they're like, it's Puna butter. And I'm like, right on. And I fucking just put little bits of that in my coffee. It was so nice.
Yeah, dude. It's like, what I should do when I make batches is I should get a bunch of molds that are like little teaspoon molds, and just fill them all up, and then, I can put them in the fridge, and then when I make coffee in the morning, just fucking pop that bitch into my coffee and get a nice little microdose every morning. That would be good. Or doing the same thing for get an ice cube tray mold, right?
Yeah.
And just use that and fill that up, and that'd be one dose. So,
for you?
Rounds or whatever.
How big are your gummy bears? Jesus, man. Ice cubes are huge. Or you mean one ice cube would be a dose?
It's just tough to dose it because I make a whole bunch of butter, and then I have I try to cut it with a knife into equal parts and do it I don't know. I need to come up with a better system.
Well, they have they have molds for the butter, Pete.
Yeah, that's what I need to do because I'm pretty much just making it and then dumping it into a big.
Yeah, I mean, if that's what you want, they have the silicone molds for the butter. You just take it and put it into those, and then fucking slam it in the freezer, and then fucking you can wrap them up in little fucking half-pound squares or whatever, quarter-pound squares, whatever it is.
Yeah, that's what I gotta do. It's been working though. It's been working fucking wonders.
It really makes a huge difference, huh, Pete? I've been doubling my dosage. I've been eating a lot more brownies, but it really it helps so much, dude.
Yeah, I don't understand people that struggle with smoking, I know a lot of people that have been like lifelong smokers and they're trying to give it up, and I'm like, dude, I have a fantastic edible recipe, and they're like, no, for some reason they just, I don't know, a lot of people have had, I don't know, bad experiences with edibles, or they tried making a shitty batch of brownies when they were in the 8th grade or something, and then that kind of fucking taints their opinion on edibles. I don't know.
I think sometimes people get really high when they eat edibles, and it catches them off guard, and it scares them a little bit.
Yeah, either that, yeah, that too. You either don't get high or you get way too high.
Yeah. Yeah, that was my problem with alcohol. I wouldn't drink enough and I'd get a headache, or I drink just way too much and I'd fucking just be horrible.
Yeah, the edible thing took me a while to get good at. Like the first couple of batches of edibles that I made were pretty bad. I had to do like a lot of research to get that shit right. But
yeah, well, practice makes perfect.
Yeah, it's funny. There's really not a lot of good. There's not like one definitive video on the internet where it's like, look at this video and you will know all you need to know about edibles. Like, you kind of have to take a little page out of everyone's book and piece together your own edible method. That's what I did. And I have a fantastic method. Where did my goddamn shaker go? Look at this bullshit. Okay, I'm reading this bullshit right now. The death toll, the coronavirus death toll in the United States has just surpassed that of China's. But they're saying that that's probably not really true because China lies about everything.
That seems to be the narrative right now, that China lies about everything.
Yeah, and all these goddamn Chinese are because they're so pretentious and they think they're so much better than we are. Did you ever see that Netflix documentary about that Chinese company that started the business in Michigan somewhere? Where was it?
I don't think so.
I'm not even gonna get into it, but it was pretty much like this Chinese company that they started a business. They took it from China to like Michigan somewhere, I think Detroit even. They brought like a whole workforce over, and they were like training all the American employees, like telling them that pretty much like Americans, they don't know how to work as hard as us Chinese do, but that's okay. We're going to train them how to be as good as we are, and it's like this whole like weird, bizarre, like brainwashing thing where like American children are reinforced from a young age to be like overconfident and it's like Americans are overconfident.
Wow.
And it was like just so crazy. Like they really seem to have this opinion of us, like a lot, like we're all lazy and dumb or something. I don't know. Damn, I forget what the name of the documentary was, but it's on Netflix. Yeah, check it out.
Huh. Sounds interesting. So, what so your schedule's pretty much the same then, Pete? You haven't changed a whole lot then, huh?
No, I mean it has. I'm just I'm working from home when I can.
Mm.
But like I said, right now it's kind of every day I can't really work from home, so I kind of have to come in. But we're taking precautions. We're trying, but my company is like a kind of a manufacturing facility. Like we make pharmaceuticals and shit. So
yeah. So everybody's still pretty much full employment there, or you're just essential. You're just essential.
No, I mean, we haven't laid anybody off, dude, but we're just like kind of sending people home, having people work from home, as many people work from home as we can.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much all we can do at this point. But yeah, we can't just fucking stop working. America can't just fucking shut down, you know? That's why I see a lot of these people like, oh, we all need to stop. Everyone's like, people want to push the panic button, and we all can't work. It's like, we can't not work, you know, obviously. So, I don't know.
Well, a lot of people cannot work. A lot of people, it doesn't matter if they work or not. What they do is completely meaningless and it's unnecessary.
Yeah, some people are super high risk, and some people just shouldn't work. But then there's some people that I think there's some people that got to be fucking brave and step it up. You know what I mean? Because the economy can't.
I think that there's a lot. Look, Pete, there's a lot of people that are being brave. But there's a difference between being brave and being, you know, nonchalant about something that's very serious, because, you know, this is, you know, you don't want to get anybody else sick. That's I mean, because you know, you don't want to.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
You don't want to get yourself sick and then start infecting a bunch of people or anything. I walk around, you know, and there's very few people on the street, but man, they fucking cross the street when they see me coming now. So it's getting weird out there.
It's probably going to be like this for a while, bro. I don't think this is going to be something that we get over quickly. Because to develop a vaccine takes a long fucking time, you know?
Yeah.
I know they're making good progress with it, but making a vaccine is not something that you can just bang out, you know? It's going to take a long time before they come up with a vaccine. And, you know, are we all going to fucking stay in quarantine until they come up with a vaccine? I doubt it. The quarantine is just kind of to keep the hospitals from being overwhelmed.
Well, then, if this doesn't fucking subside, then you have to stay in quarantine or you overwhelm the hospitals.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I think this whole quarantine shit's going to go on for a lot longer than we all think.
We'll see.
But what do I know? I don't know shit. I'm just a fucking jackass.
It seems like people are getting back to work in China a little bit anyways. I'm not positive, but it looks like it to me, like they're kind of getting back to work. So we'll see what happens. You know, Italy and Spain are really fucked up, and they're going to be really good examples of what, you know, how the recovery goes, I think.
Good. It's good that we're not the example.
Well, you know, they're see what I'm saying is like they have, I believe in Italy they have a moratorium on rent and mortgages right now, which means, you know, basically nobody loses their business or their home, you know, or their apartment or whatever. So, you know, this is what I'm saying is they're going to be shining examples of how to get through this. And what it's going to look like on the other side before we get to there, I think.
Good. That's kind of, I mean, well, not good, but good, sort of.
Well, it's good. It's good. Hopefully that we'll be able to take lessons from them. I hope.
Yeah, definitely, because you know, the Trump administration certainly is not, you know, going to be proactive about it. That's for sure.
Yeah, they seem to be dragging their feet on a lot of shit.
Yeah, I mean, the governors of the states seem to be, you know, stepping up their game, so that's good.
They seem to be really like charging ahead, like I'm in charge and we're gonna make this happen. Yeah, it sounds like they're stepping up their game. We'll see. Hopefully everybody's gonna, you know, look, everybody's gonna get through this and it's gonna be okay and we'll get out the other side. Hopefully this thing won't just continue on forever. That's the main thing, you know. And that's what I'm saying about China. It seems like China is getting back to work a little bit now, and I think that we should be able to see in the next.
I wouldn't believe it, dude. I'm not buying any of the shit that's coming out of fucking China.
Well, that's a good point. I don't think, you know, the press is obviously, you know, full of shit. You know, it's obviously state-run press there, so. But we'll see. Like I said, you know, that's why I'm looking to Spain and Italy, because I don't trust what we're hearing about China. But you know, Italy is like a month behind China or 6 weeks behind China, so we should be seeing, you know, some signs of stabilization here in Italy, if that's something that is going to happen here very, very soon, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I would say where our recovery is going to be way more in line with what's going on in Italy, more so than China, for sure. Yeah. I agree. I'm going to shake up this cocktail and be on my way. So have a nice night, Michael.
It's good to hear from you, Pete. I've been thinking about you.
I've been thinking about you as well, buddy. Take care. You know, I would say Tulsa gives me a boner, but I don't even want to mention her name anymore.
Yeah.
After the Biden endorsement, I don't know.
I had to take her off the front page of Mox News, which was sad.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what to say anymore. Blow your dad, praise Allah, eat out your mom. Woo!
Thanks for calling, Pete. Talk to you soon, I hope. And that's our buddy Pete from Rhode Island. And it sounds like he's doing well, which is good to know because we haven't heard from him for about 10 days. So, and he has that underlying heart condition. Hello, caller.
Oh, Michael Knight, how are you this evening, buddy?
Dwayne, it's good to hear from you. How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing great. Hey, it's good to see you. And I didn't even know you were around anymore because YouTube isn't letting me know that you're live anymore. When I wake up in the morning at 5:30, 6 o'clock, then I see that Mox News did a live stream last night that ended 6 hours ago, and he was on for 3 hours. I'm like, what the fuck? I didn't see that because I was up till 12 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And no Mox News came through my YouTube feed.
Yeah, I've been hearing that a lot from people. Everyone's saying that they're not being notified of the show being live and stuff like that.
I wake up in the morning and I see that you were on last night. I'm like, no, because I was sitting here clicking YouTube subscriptions, refresh page, and I get a whole bunch of other stuff about QAnon. That's fucking stupid anyways. Talk about smoking opium. But, I get that stuff in my feed, no problem. But your live show is not coming through.
Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that, Dwayne.
I had to go to your channel to see that you were live streaming.
Yeah.
Actually, my wife did.
Well, I appreciate you letting us know that. It's very frustrating that these people seem to feel that they can selectively censor anyone they want, and for whatever reason. I mean, I guess it's kind of like a badge of honor almost. It's like obviously I'm hitting too close to home or too close for comfort, something like that. So we can't have his words getting out to reach the people, which has been this way the whole time. So I have an email box, Dwayne, and it has apparently 600 and some thousand emails in it. And Craig's been harvesting the emails, and we're going to try and get a list of people that we can reach out to and say, hey, in case you guys don't know, Mike's going live right now at 7 p.m. and blah, blah, blah. So...
Yeah, because for the last 5 business days, and you run this show like a fucking ship, right? Monday to Friday, 10 p.m. I'm telling you right now, for the last 5 days that you've probably had a show. I don't know. Why aren't you having a show? Why is tonight your first show in a week? What's wrong with you? Do some fucking YouTubing.
But yeah, I'm here every Monday through Friday, Dwayne.
Yeah, well,
and if there's something going on Saturday, on Saturday or Sunday, I'll be here then too. But I would prefer not to look at the news if I don't have to. But if there's something going on, I'll check it and I'll make sure what's going on. And if there's something happening, I'll come out here live.
Yeah, well, and my wife, she said, oh, he's live tonight. I'm like, what? I'm having a cigarette. And I'm like, what do you mean he's live? So, the only way to find it is to go to your channel to see that you're streaming live. It's not coming through my feed, and that doesn't make any sense. And a couple of people that I'm subscribed to, their feeds aren't coming through either, but then some of them are. So I don't understand what And it doesn't make sense that you and a couple other people that I'm listening to are being not coming through my feed, and then certain people are coming through my feed that are much more controversial than a bearded guy smoking pot. Okay, like seriously, I don't understand what the algorithm is, and I don't understand why yours. You know what? I don't get it. All right, listen. Thursday, Friday. What's today? Tuesday, Monday, Tuesday. That was not coming through my feed. If you've uploaded anything to YouTube in the last 5 days, other than the show, I haven't seen anything. And I'll get the notification that you uploaded it at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. Well, that's the only thing we've been doing lately is the show, or the last 5 days, or last. I'm not sure what I've uploaded the last week. I'm trying to avoid the news on the weekends, and I'd really recommend to all of you, if you can get a break from it, please do so.
And, you know.
Yeah, go ahead, Dwayne.
This shit hit the shit already hit the fan 2 weeks ago, man. This is something really. I'm considered an essential employee. Listen, all the Mox News people, I'm an essential employee. I'm essential. And I walked around my work the other day just screaming that out loud. I'm essential. I'm essential. Because obviously they put everyone who's not essential out of work in the province of Ontario.
Yeah.
But I'm essential.
Yeah.
So, you know, I feel pretty good that I'm still paying taxes, I guess, to keep this charade going.
Craig has a document from Homeland Security that says that he's essential, and that way he can travel on the roads if they shut down the roads.
I'm essential, man. I'm essential, and I want all of you to know it. I'm essential. This is fucked up, man. I don't know how much you've looked into the 5G stuff, but you know, just like all the conspiracy theorists on the 5G end, and this is going to get your chat room going for sure, but you know, of all the people in the 5G conspiracy stuff, I've been watching some pretty interesting stuff about this. But look, like on my country road, they're putting in 5 fucking G transmitters on all the hydro poles in front of my fucking house.
Well,
okay.
Yeah, Michael from Southern California was on the phone yesterday, and he said that he was recommending to everyone. He said he was going to go and buy the biggest tractor he could get, and every time he sees one of those poles, he's going to pull it down.
I was thinking about just smashing with a baseball bat, getting a hammer, or a baseball bat, and getting a ladder and going up the pole and just beat the fucking shit out of this thing, because I don't want my balls to be fried. I don't want my lungs to be fried. I smoke anyways. I agree with Mike from Southern California. You know, and I miss hearing him, because you know why? Mox News isn't coming through my fucking YouTube feed, and I don't notice it until the next morning when I wake up for work. So this sucks, man. This really sucks. I haven't seen Mox News live streaming, and you got 13 watchers right now. You had 45 of them 2 weeks ago when I last talked to you.
Yeah, it's the YouTube is definitely fucking with us. But I like doing this. I like coming out here and being able to touch bases with you guys, you know, and because, you know, you guys from all over the world, and you guys see, you know, have a view from the ground where you're at, and it's good to, you know, to say hi and see everybody's still strong and stuff, you know.
Oh, it is. It's great. You want me? You want me to tell you what's going on here at the Detroit-Windsor border? Okay, I'm about 30 miles out. All right, but I went into Windsor 2 weekends ago to buy some silver. Ooh, silver, man. but anyway, I went into Windsor to buy it, and I went right by the bridge. Okay. Big, beautiful Ambassador Bridge, and man, I'm telling you, if you're ever in Detroit, I'm coming to visit you, or you cross that border, you come here, you know, I'd love to talk to you, man. I can't. Someday we're gonna meet up, man. I'm telling you, someday. But I went there and I drove into Windsor, okay, and it's kind of like a city of 250,000 people. So it's kind of big, but not huge, right? It's not a metropolis or something. But Detroit's on the other side where they've got like 950 cases of COVID-19. We have like 40 of them just on this side. But I went by the bridge, and there's 5 trucks on this bridge. It usually has hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of trucks. There's 5 trucks coming into Canada on our side from the States, and that's it. And there's these 50 border guards dressed like Blackwater, man. Just black, decked out like they're the shit army of the world, man. And they just go running. 25 of them go running at this truck. I'm like, what the fuck is in that truck? Probably toilet paper, man.
Yeah, huh? That's really weird, dude.
Oh, man, this is crazy because, like, I live on a border town, man. And they've shut down everything except essential business, NAFTA stuff, right? Like, I'm assuming. But then there's probably only 10%, if that, of the actual truck traffic going between our 2 great nations.
Yeah.
And I just think this is all fucking horseshit, man. This is all going to come. Look, I'm being totally honest with you. Conspiracy, whatever, truth, whatever. It's all going out the window when there's going to be forced vaccinations. And I'm not taking no fucking forced vaccinations no matter what. You got to stand for something. Every man has to draw the line in the sand at something, and that is it for me and my family. I'll fucking die before I take one of their poisonous injections of some fucking monkey virus they created in China. Forget it, man. No way. That's what's going to happen. And Fauci was out there today talking about, you know, how it's going to come back in the fall and all that. That's exactly when they're going to have some bullshit vaccine that's probably going to fucking put an RFID chip in your blood. They'll be able to track you all over the place, take your temperature from some fucking office in the Pentagon. This is getting ridiculous, man. And we got to stop it. But you know what? 98% of people on this fucking planet, they just want to beg to be slaves. Go right ahead. Suck the cock of Monsanto and Merck and all these major, well, what's the big U.S. military, Halliburton, those guys, and go lick Dick Cheney's ball sack. Don't do it. Anyway, that's my rant. Hey, Mike, how you doing?
I hear you, Dwayne. I mean, you should have heard my rant at the beginning, man. You know,
I wish I would have. YouTube won't let me.
Yeah.
You know what?
No, I hear you, Dwayne. It's and trust me when I say it's much more frustrating for me than it is for you.
I don't have a smartphone real fresh, so get off your smartphone because you probably have one. Sorry, I'm just responding to something in the chat.
Okay. Well,
I got a fucking. I wish I had a rotary phone. I have to sit here beside my phone because it's not cordless. Okay. Real fresh.
Yeah, I was when you were saying that they put this stuff in your blood with a chip so they can track you. They already track most people everywhere they go with their fucking phones, you know.
Oh yeah, and that's part of the whole kill grid that's probably going to come with this 5G. Look, I'm not going to plug nobody else's channel on here. I promise you that I won't do that again. I did that before, and you called me out on it. I'm not going to.
Well, just because we were talking to them on their call and you plugged their show on my show, but you didn't plug my show on their show. That's why I gave you a hard time about it, Dwayne. That's all.
I know. So, but you know what? Like, listen, the 5G networks are going in now. It's not causing this coronavirus, but they're going to use it in the future because from what I know, now I'm not no fucking mad scientist with fucking white hair, but look, like these microwaves are going to be emitting and causing fucking oxygen to fuck up your lungs.
I don't know. Michael was saying something also about that last night. He was talking about how it's just gonna.
See, that old fart and I would be great friends. I know it, and we fight back and forth all the time. I know that old fart is a good guy. I think his spirituality is a little fucked up, but he's a smart guy. Well, you mean Mike in Southern California, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. The guy, him and I, I never get to talk to this fucker. We
Ooh,
should find a way to
Dwayne,
do
last night we did a 3-way call.
Oh, we got to do a 3-way call with that old fart. I'd love to talk to that old fart and say, listen, like, because he said something one time that really bugged me. He's like, Dwayne's the kind of guy who'd rat me out. I'd never rat you out, you fucker. I'd be on your side. All right, the old couple that lives across the street from me, they came back from Florida 7 days ago.
Huh.
The government of Canada is telling me to rat these people out that don't self-quarantine. You know what? He self-quarantined for 5 days, him and his old wife, okay? And then I think it was either Saturday or Sunday night, I saw him drive out and go somewhere. I'm not going to call the fucking police on the guy. Give me a break. And they just got back from Florida.
And that's what the government is giving you PSAs that tell you to do that or something?
Absolutely. It's all over CBC radio. It's over the American NPR because I listen to Michigan news out of NPR all the time.
And they're saying if people aren't self-quarantining to call.
Especially returning people in Canada from Florida.
Huh. Interesting.
You rat them out. I'm not going to rat out this, they're a couple in their 70s.
Yeah.
Okay? Now we've been watching them. He's at home right now, but it was either Saturday or Sunday night. I saw his lights on his Ford F-150 turn on, and he pulled out of that fucking driveway and went somewhere for 20 minutes. He probably went to the bank. He probably went to get cigarettes. He probably went to do something. The government wants me to rat this guy out. I'm not going to fucking do that because I'm thinking about walking across the street.
Unless he can call the government and say, hey, I need some fucking cigarettes or I'm going to go down to the fucking store, then yeah, don't rat him out. I mean, but if he can do that, then rat him the fuck out. Go ahead.
Well, I'm thinking we should be, as the loving people that me and my children are, I should be walking across the street and say, hey, from 6 feet away, wave my hand in his face from 6 feet away and say, do you want some free eggs that my chickens that you've been watching for the last 3 years have laid? Like,
yeah, you should.
Shouldn't I be doing something like that instead? But the government's putting messages on CBC Radio Canada, going all across the radio waves of Canada. If you see somebody, it's almost like a see something, say something thing here in Canada about especially old, retired people returning from Florida, snowbirds, right?
Yeah.
Returning from Florida, rat them out if they break quarantine because they're supposed to be on a 14-day, quarantine when they come back.
Hey, Dwayne?
Yeah.
Craig has Michael on the line. He's going to make it so that you can do a 3-way call with him.
So you got to go on hold for a minute so I can have Mike answer his call, and then we'll bring you guys back on a joint call. So can you hang on for a sec?
Yeah, for sure.
Right, there will be hold music on your end. Okay, hold on. When it comes through, answer Michael, and then I'll come back in the room and get you guys joined up.
Okay. So we're going to do a 3-way call 2 nights in a row. And I have the feeling we're about to start a friendship that could last a lifetime. We'll see. Right? Am I right? Am I right or am I right? So we got Dwayne on hold. We got Michael coming up here on the line from Southern California. And then Craig going to join the two together momentarily, I think. And there's my Boo Bear laying down by the river. So we'll have Dwayne and Michael talking for the first time. Hello, caller.
Hey.
Hey, Mike. How's it going, bro?
Good. You guys woke me up.
I didn't do it.
No, I called because I wanted to have some fun.
I didn't do it. Sorry, Michael. I didn't mean to wake you up.
All right, so...
Oh, man. I thought it was midnight. I thought maybe my music was too loud or something.
So now that we got you on, What time is it here, West Coast?
8:30.
10:30.
8:30. 8:30.
8:30.
Wake and Bake News, and you're live. Hold on. Okay, so then what we do on our phone, we hit more, and then we hit join.
Hello, Dwayne.
Michael Knight, how are you?
Okay, you're on the phone with Mike from Southern California also.
Mike in Southern California, you old fart. What are you doing sleeping at 8:30?
Fucking, I drank too much soup, man, and I'm just fucking all over the place.
He just started eating marijuana in the last few days, Dwayne.
Oh, really? We opened our first store on Sunday here in Windsor, Ontario.
Nice.
Yeah, I haven't got a chance to get in there, but...
Is that essential?
Yeah, it's essential.
Awesome. It should be.
Yep. Same with the liquor stores. Liquor store has reduced hours, but the time I get off work, I can still get there.
Hey, Michael, I didn't mean to wake you up, bro. If you need to go back to sleep, you can go back to sleep. It's all good. I would not have done that to you.
No, that's all right, man. I'm used to it.
All right.
Fucking people.
Yeah, I know. It's Dwayne was saying that he wishes that he could talk to you, because I was telling him that last night you were saying that you were advising everyone to go out and buy the biggest tractor they can get and pull down all the 5G poles. And Dwayne was saying,
did he hear that last night?
No, he didn't hear it because he's not getting notified of the live shows. But he brought it up tonight and said that there's a 5G pole going in across the street from his house, and I said, well, you know what Michael said last night, and that's how you got here. So you're all caught up now.
Cool. What do you think about that, Dwayne? What do you think about 5G?
Oh, I think this is terrible. I think this is absolutely terrible. And all my coworkers are walking around with these things attached to their head. I asked this one guy today, I'm like, listen, is that Wi-Fi? He's like, yeah. I'm like, do you have any idea that they're going to fry your fucking brain and you're just going to die of respiratory disease probably, 6 months from now? I'm sure you've heard all about this, eh?
One of those Bluetooth things that they got?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty fucked up. If you're going to put something on your head, it's got to have a wire on it. That way. But I just saw a video today. England or Scotland, they turned on 5G and a bunch of ducks, like 20, 30, 40 ducks fell out of the sky and were laying all over the road. I saw the video.
Huh.
I can go back. I was sleeping with my computer on, listening to Joe Rogan, and I can just go back through the videos and if you want to see it for yourself. But 5G is fucked.
Yeah, it is. It absolutely is. It's fucking with the actual oxygen molecule itself.
Right, yeah.
So it's going to make everything look like a respiratory death.
Huh.
Yeah, and it also fucks with gut bacteria, which is like pretty essential, So it was called by some scientists the stupidest thing ever done in the history of the human race, 5G. Basically, you're microwaving everybody. So, I would recommend everybody in every town get a tractor or a car or a bomb and just sabotage every tower. And if everybody in the world does that, do you think they would get the message? Maybe we don't like 5G. I bet they would. And
how many of us people are going to get that, though? How many of us people are going to actually get that and not rush to get a vaccine the next time coronavirus comes around, so let's say in November?
Well,
how are we going to do that, man? How are we going to do that? Because I could go smash the one at the end of my driveway that they just put up 2 weeks ago. Okay?
Are you
and maybe I can smash every 3 fucking poles, man, they're putting up a transmitter.
Okay, has it gone live?
No.
And it was already existing pole, right? They just put.
It was an already existing pole, and they just put these things up.
Yeah, well, just fucking sabotage it, man. If everybody in the world sabotages even the pre-existing poles, knocking out telephone service. Anytime they put 5G anywhere up, we take it down. It's going to make the news within 3-4 days. If we have what's called a 5G army, that's called, you use it. Like we got Anonymous. Anonymous is everywhere on Earth. Occupy Wall Street is everywhere on Earth. If you got a 5G army everywhere on Earth, you're going to have 20, 30 brand new videos every day on YouTube of citizens taking out 5G towers, and it'll catch on like wildfire. And it doesn't matter what our masters want. We outnumber them.
We do, man. And you know what? I've always known you're a good guy, Mike. I'd never rat you out if you're my neighbor. I never would. You said that once.
I know,
Dwayne. I'd never rat you out. And you know what? I'd love to smash the whole fucking 5G system in my town with you, man. And
it's no joke.
I'd do the same thing in your town.
It's no joke, dude. They fucked up the whole planet. They fucked up the whole planet right now.
Yep, they are. They are, and it's already like I'm outside to see. I'm on a country road, man, and they're fucking putting them up on our telephone poles.
Yeah.
Dwayne, you live on 125 acres, right?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, so that's kind of.
I've heard him talk about his farm, man, and it sounds like awesome. You got the starts in your windows, and your kids are doing it, and your wife's doing it, and that's like. As soon as you said that, I said, "Oh my fucking god, this guy's not a fucking moron. He's living the life, man." So.
Oh man, it's awesome. You know what my wife and kids are doing while I'm at work all day? They're watching the chickens and the ducks. We're getting 15 eggs a day. All right, pasture raised, not just like just walking around in a pen. They get to walk all over the property. And we've already started all of our tomatoes for this year. We started our cucumbers and melons last week.
Roma's the best.
Awesome year. Yep. And you know what? It's just fucked up that YouTube's fucking up Mike's channel, man. And
the internet is slowed down worldwide because everybody's indoors hiding from a fucking invisible goddamn vagina. Got a fucking.
And that's what they're using as we need to bring in this 5G network to speed everything up again. You know that, right?
Hey, I didn't actually make the connection.
That's what they're going to do. They're going to everyone. You have to. The way to keep this out is don't have Wi-Fi in your home. That's how they're actually going to point the weapon at you. Mm. You can't have it in your home.
This whole virus thing, if we play it right, could usher in the revolution that everybody's been wanting. And everybody's also too pussy to fucking participate in. So we'll see, man. We'll see what happens.
I agree, man. The one thing look, my line in the sand, Mike, is the forced vaccines that are going to come with this. That's my line in the fucking sand for me and my children. I'll die on a cross just like my Savior did. All right? I would absolutely do that for that. That's my line in the sand. Maybe, Mike, in Southern California, maybe it's guns, for you and your right to the Second Amendment. Mike, in Seattle, Mox News, maybe it's going to be that, for smoking a joint, you go to jail for 2 months or something. Like, there's got to be a line in the sand that we all stand for. And I think that what's really fucked up with this 5G stuff is they're going to make it look like a respiratory illness that everyone's going to run to get a vaccine for. And then people are going to be shamed. I'm already getting shamed paying cash. Has this happened to either of you? Because I'm getting shamed when I go into a store.
Not yet.
And they're all wearing gloves, and they're saying, what, you don't have a debit card? We have a fucking debit card, but I'm not going to use a debit card for a $10.50 purchase.
Yeah, well, if you're not, they shut down the entire fucking planet, Dwayne. If you're not pissed off now, you're never going to get pissed off. But still, a lot of people think it was fucking some accident, and it might have been an accident, but it was designed in a biolab, and it seems to be like I was telling Mike last night, I'm not a virologist, but it seems to be like a chimera. It changes. There's at least 2 strains, I know that. And some people the same age, the same sex, in the same place can have 2 completely different physical reactions. One can have no symptoms, the other one could die. So that's a chimera, man. And you won't even hear that word on regular TV, but if you go on all the YouTubers that are talking about it, they're starting to talk about chimeras, and that's when I have the evidence that it is a man-made bioweapon, traceable, provable, I'll fucking tell you guys, because I'm pissed off now, man. They shut down the entire fucking planet. I think it probably was an accidental release because, as crooked as the United States government is, the Chinese government is just as fucking crooked. They could have been fucking around in that lab in Wuhan, and had an accidental release and then tried to cover it up and said it was fucking pangolins, or bats.
You don't believe any of that shit, do you? You believe there's 80,000 cases in the country with 1.3 billion people? Not a chance. There's a hell of a lot more than that.
Yeah, well, they're not just fucking around with the numbers. They're fucking around with where did it come from? And if the people on planet Earth, if your line in the sand isn't fucking, they shut down the entire planet and 300,000 people have died, if that's not your fucking line in the sand, oh, fuck, man, I don't even want to know you. Go away. If you're
That's right. Hey, I'm glad you got a line in the sand. I'm glad you got a line in the sand. I'm glad you called me on the carpet, Mike, because I'm going to call you on the carpet. A lot of times I'm listening to the show and it's like, fuck, man, I got to talk to this guy because, I'd never rat you out to a neighbor. You said that once. It hurt my feelings, man. I'd never rat you out to a neighbor. You're a good guy. I know you are. And we'd be best neighbors. I'm telling you. We'd watch out for each other. We absolutely would. And we'd be smashing the fucking shit out of these little transmitters that are hanging off the poles in the county. Not in the city. They already got those wired for death anyways. So if you're living in the city, man, you're fucked. But at least if you're outside the city, they have to actually come and put these transmitters around your home to hurt you.
I got 2 words for you, Dwayne. Potato cannon. Potato cannon. You don't even have to climb the pole or knock the fucking pole down. You just get good with a potato cannon. And instead of using a potato, use a can of Campbell's soup. Stick it in that motherfucker. Get good at it. And boom! One shot. That fucking...
Really? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I was going to take a ladder out and just take a baseball bat and just start bashing the fuck out of the thing.
Yeah, but sometimes you're going 40 feet in the air, dude, so...
yeah, about that.
Yeah, birds are dropping worldwide wherever they install it.
Yep.
Usually it's smaller birds, starlings and stuff like that. Today I saw ducks. So how's that make you feel? If they're
terrible, terrible.
I
mean, I got a dozen ducks on my farm, man. I love them. They're great pets.
Yeah.
And they give us lots of really awesome eggs.
They're going to be killing your cats, killing your dogs. I understand the frequencies probably travel, a couple dozen feet above ground level. But hey, man, let's just be good citizens and just get a little bit of cancer. It'll be okay. We can live with a little bit of cancer, And so so what? I'm growing a 3rd ear out of my forehead. I don't care, man. I just need to pay my taxes. So, all these revolutionaries that are always trying to change the world. Okay, I'll join the army. I'll join the 5G army. Let's kill the 5G towers. I'm making a prediction right now. I'll bet you $100, Dwayne, that as soon as that 5G really starts to kick in, you're going to see something like the 5G army.
I hope so, man, because they're pumping the schools with it now while all the kids are away. I'm sure you've seen the videos on YouTube about stuff like that.
Hey, if you don't want to defend, if defending your kids isn't enough to make you knock those fucking towers out. I don't know what is it going to take, you know?
Well, I agree, man. And
that's priority number one.
I got to do that. Look, this is for humanity. I'm still paying taxes. I'm still working every day. I'm essential, man. I'm essential.
What kind of? I missed out on Trudeau's great rescue attempt, but what kind of measures is he taking up there to bail everybody out who's not working?
Me personally, having 6 children, I'm going to get $1,400 Friday this week. Then I'm also going to get $1,800 on April 20th, and I think another $1,800 on May 20th. Now that's having 6 children in a family of 8 with my income level. So I'm still working. I'm still paying taxes.
You should take that. You should take that April 20th check straight to the dispensary, dude.
I'm taking. Yeah, I get what you're saying. I totally do. You know what? And we finally got our first brick and mortar store.
Yeah.
40 miles from me. I can go in there and I can pick and choose. Mike, what strain? You know. What's the company called? It's actually a company out of Ohio that opened one up here in Canada, in the city closest to me. So in Windsor, Ontario. I forget what it's called, darn it. I was on their website because they were just announced first one in Windsor, Ontario.
Yeah, you have to send me a link to their website, dude.
I will do that.
Yeah.
And man, hey, Mike in Southern California, it was a blast talking to you tonight. It really was. I'm glad I actually have it's not like you call in first and then I get to reply, or I call in first and you get to reply. Hey, it was great talking to you. Michael Knight, you're an excellent host of this show. I love this show so much, and I'm kind of pissed. Now, of course, that would make sense if I just go to your channel. It'll show the feed. But it sucks that YouTube's fucking you over, man. And that's not right. I do know you got moxnews.com.
Have you noticed your computer and phones is much slower now as of about a week? I've noticed it.
A little bit, not too much. We tend to do basic stuff here, on the computer. Like, I don't know, we don't have TV in this house. My children watch videos that I download.
If you got 3 windows open on your computer, or like here, I got service coming in, and then I give everybody else service, right? And if one guy's downloading, everybody's service gets slower. So usually, and Mike, I think, has really good top of the line service at his house too. But usually, if something's going on like that, if he's downloading and also has got 3-4 windows open, he's unaffected. But now I'm noticing that I can't cruise the internet so fast as I usually can because they slowed the entire internet down because everybody on Earth is quarantined indoors and they don't want it to overload.
Yeah.
Greg's a technical guy. He should speak on that. But
everyone's gonna beg for 5G to speed up my internet, and then the kill operation goes into play. We gotta stop.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you're on our side, man. Because
right, I am, man.
There's more than one way to skin a cat. It's like you don't have to actually go rent a tractor. I don't have a tractor. I would have to rent one to take out the 5G towers. You could just make a potato fucking cannon and put a Campbell soup can in there. And if you got a potato cannon and you pointed at a house like a regular framed stucco house, with stucco on the outside, and you shoot it, it'll go right through the fucking wall. And if you think that you can't take out a 5G thing up there on a pole with a potato cannon, you're kidding yourself. You really can't.
Right. You're right about that, man.
You really can. So we don't have to rent tractors. I mean, I might go into business. I'm gonna take advantage of this crisis and get a government loan, a grant from the government, and I'm going to use that money against them.
Potato cannons.
Yeah, I'm going to mass produce Mike's potato cannons. I'm going to fuck them in the ass as soon as 5G comes to my neighborhood. You know, it's never underestimate the stupidity of human beings. The entire planet is shut down because apparently it's okay to fuck around with viruses in laboratories all over.
Dude, and just think about the economic collapse. Like, seriously, they just put through $2.2 trillion. Trump's already talking about another $2 trillion stimulus bill that the Democrats want. Look, man, you got to have gold and silver or you're not going to have nothing. And even if this means the dollar is going to collapse and there's going to be a new dollar, you have to have something to buy into the new system.
Well, we might be, you know, you know, Dwayne, being a Christian, that the word apocalypse means the unveiling. You know, the unveiling. When you pull back the curtain and you see the Wizard of Oz behind the fucking curtain, we might be at the fucking apocalypse right now. It's like, what is it going to take for people to stand up and say, hey, you know what? I'm not taking this shit anymore. Fuck you.
If you read the Bible, though, Mike, and you bust my ass all the time for this, and I can't respond, but when you read the Bible, you see how bad it really gets. I don't think we're at that point yet. I think we need...
Dude,
they're going to bring in forced vaccinations. They're going to bring in one world government. They're going to bring in one world currency. That's what it's going to be. It's not going. I believe that book is serious because it's talking about.
Can we get a 4-way call going? Let me get my buddy Satan on the line, okay? And we'll let him have a little fucking say.
Sucks, man. You don't want that.
He's my roommate. Hold on. I'll go get him. Hold on. Satan! Hey, Satan!
Jeez. Their rapture never happened, Wilco. Come on. What a stupid question. What a stupid statement. The rapture never happened. There is no rapture, Wilco. Come on. There's no rapture. People like me and Satanists are going to have to go through the same stupid-ass shit because it talks about... Oh, I love talking Bible, man, Mike. You know what? Hey, I respectfully disagree with you. But when it comes to the spiritual side...
I was laying down. You know who I was laying next to? Jesus.
I don't know.
On my bed. Jesus. Dwayne, Jesus was on my bed. A crucifix. It's about, you know...
crucifix is an idol, man. You go to hell for that.
Hold on. Satan! Satan!
Oh, jeez.
All right, guys. Hey, guys, it's good to hear you guys get a chance to talk. I gotta play a video. So, Dwayne, tell Jane Mike says hi.
I will. And hey, it was great talking to you, Mike, in Southern California. And thanks, Mox, for letting that happen. And thanks,
5G
Greg.
Army. 5G Army, man.
Hear ya.
Let's do it.
Oh yeah. Hey, you know what? We're on the same team that way. Because you know what? It might save your little Satan ass too. But it's going to save Jesus is going to lead it. You know what I mean?
Okay, guys.
Okay. Hey.
Bless you both and have a great night. Mike in Southern California, great conversation. Michael Knight, excellent show. And I'm glad I
good up there, Dwayne. I'm proud of you. It takes a lot of balls to raise 6 kids, man. I'm proud of you. So stay good.
Thanks, man. And peace be with you. And peace, love, and happiness to everyone.
Okay, guys. All right, thanks for getting out of bed, Michael. We'll talk to you soon. Stay cool, guys.
Thanks.
Bye. All right, so I'm going to play a quick video. If anybody's having trouble finding toilet paper, there is a local company who has plenty of it.
Welcome back here on the news at noon on Cairo 7. If you've spent any time in a grocery store for the past 3 weeks, you know toilet paper can be tough to find. A Seattle company that sells toilet paper direct to consumers is also donating a lot of its stock. Cairo 7's Ranji Sinha shows us how this environmentally friendly business has a new mission.
It was always our belief kind of early on that toilet paper is one of the very few truly must-have products.
Cloud Paper's motto is "We roll different," but now the company is rolling with much higher demand for toilet paper, especially with people staying home due to coronavirus.
And what we see is people say, this is amazing. I didn't know that there was other alternatives out there.
Ryan Fritch and Austin Watkins often work out of this South Park warehouse, sending out toilet paper direct to consumers through the mail. They estimate their business is up 600%.
So we definitely saw almost an overnight uptick in demand. As
Cloud Paper wanted to make toilet paper environmentally friendly and did so by using bamboo as the base. The startup kicked off last year with the goal of cutting all tree products from the toilet paper pipeline.
About 20% of deforestation globally is for toilet paper and paper towels, about 40,000 trees a day.
Bamboo grows faster and helps maintain the supply. Cloud Paper also say they're packing up, shipping out, and giving away toilet paper rolls to those in need. They donated 10,000 rolls to Food Lifeline. So even though it's made from bamboo, looks like toilet paper, certainly feels like toilet paper, quite soft, but what does it take to deliver 10,000 of these? Well, you have 100 of these cardboard boxes. The donation to Food Lifeline, though, that was easy. Food Lifeline is headquartered right across the street.
It's right across the street. They literally bring their forklift over, drive it across the parking lot, load up in our warehouse.
Cloud Paper did not raise its prices in the last month and believes this home delivery model is something consumers will continue to roll with in the future.
Glad that we're here with the right product at the right time. And
Ranji Sinha, Cairo 7 News.
Sometimes life can be a little overwhelming. Sometimes the weight of the world can be too much to bear. Sometimes you need to stop worrying and take a deep breath. Sometimes you need cannabis. Introducing Brightside, high-quality cannabis delivered right to your door. Brightside offers an extensive menu of strains and products to meet your needs. Choose the experience you want, and we'll send you the dankest herb, the real sticky icky, some top-shelf marijuana. If you like what we send you, keep the whole jar. We'll even include some nugs for you to blaze. As part of Discovery, you'll get to try new strains and products. Side effects may include euphoria, increased appetite, uncontrollable giggles, elevated sensitivity to musical dopeness, and reduced anxiety. Tetrahydrocannabinol may also induce feelings of existential well-being and relentless optimism. With a Brightside subscription, you can get it once a month, once a week, or whenever you want, all at a price you'll like. And yes, this is a real company.
Do you know who I am?
You're the wizard.
Ask your doctor if cannabis is right for you. It probably is. Keep it Brightside.
Just doing my job, Dwayne. Thank you. Thank you for helping me do my job, bud. Okay, so this dab rig is almost ready for a big puff. I have a couple more videos that I want to play for you. I have one about COVID virus scams, and I have one about the Brazilian president, and there's something else I want to play for you too here. Oh, Israel bombed Syria. Alrighty. Let's see. Where were we at? I am now. Oh, right. We're going to play. So, yesterday I was telling you that I have found a new channel, which is apparently a Tel Aviv news station. It's called IS 24, I think. And anyway, so I played a clip from that yesterday, and people seem to enjoy that. And then I was looking at their channel today, and I found a clip of them talking about how Syria, the Israeli news, is reporting that Syria is reporting that one of their cities was bombed overnight, and that they're saying that apparently it was the Israelis who did it. So I think it's very funny the way they dance around that. The way Syria says. But we can't ask our local Air Force if they fucking bombed Syria or not. So I thought you guys would want to see that.
Continue with our coverage here of the outbreak as health officials in Israel say the supermarket is now one of the most dangerous places for potentially contracting the virus. And our correspondent Jonathan Regev reported to us from outside the large grocery chain Rami Levy in Holon, where people have continued to line up.
The tough restrictions are in place. Israelis are basically obliged to remain home, but there are some exceptions. Of course, the main exception is supermarkets. People can still go out and buy food, but even when doing so, they have to keep certain rules. For example, here where we are at the supermarket in the city of Holon, just outside of Tel Aviv, we can see people lining up outside the store. This is because only 60 people at a time can be inside the store. This is a very big supermarket, and yet only 60 people at a time can be inside, and that means that a guard makes sure that people come in only when other people go out. Anybody going into the supermarket has his temperature checked to make sure there's no fever, and even the people waiting outside are trying to make sure as much as possible that there are 2 meters between the people in line. So yes, people are buying food. This is an essential thing, but trying to keep the rules, the restrictions here as much as possible. Jonathan Regev, I-24 News.
And this evening, stepping away from the coronavirus here, Syrian media is reporting an airstrike on an area of homes, saying that their air defenses engaged an enemy attack, which they alleged was launched by Israel. The reports are indicating 8 missiles targeted a military air base in the area. As usual, there's been no official response by the IDF.
Yeah, I'm not really familiar with it just yet, but there seems to be a lot of interviews. So I'll keep an eye on that channel. It'll be something that's coming into the regular loop. I'm still feeling my way through it. I'm not sure what all's on there. I think there's probably some things on there that I haven't that I want to look at harder that I haven't actually noticed yet. So we'll be looking at that one more. And let's see. I also have there's a local guy here who does who's like a consumer advocate guy, and his name is Jesse Jones, and he has like his own little segment that he does on one of the local news channels. And today they did a segment on coronavirus scams, and I thought you guys should probably see that.
The scams are coming in fast and furious as consumers are trying to deal with the coronavirus outbreak. Federal authorities provided KIRO 7's Jesse Jones with recordings of scam phone calls, so you're prepared when the bad guys ring your number.
Scammers are now using the coronavirus pandemic to cash in on unsuspecting consumers.
Hello, can you hear me?
The latest one is a robocall that was centered on Burien, but is now reaching residents all over King County.
And what they're telling the caller is that they have broken quarantine and that if they don't pay a fine over the phone at that point, then they could be arrested.
Ryan Abbott from the King County Sheriff's Office says some people have fallen victim to the scam.
Don't ever provide any banking information to anybody over the telephone in regards to COVID, in regards to coronavirus, in regards to the police department calling you or anybody else that's supposedly calling you.
That is just an example of a local phone scam. But the stuff that's going national is pretty bad. Some of it has to do with fake testing. It's horrible. The Federal Trade Commission sent these scam calls. First, listen to this one offering free coronavirus testing.
The Families First Coronavirus Response Act has made coronavirus testing more accessible immediately. If you want to receive a free testing kit delivered overnight to your home, press 1.
And then there's this one, offering the delivery of cleaning products.
Dear customer, due to coronavirus outbreak, we deliver a wide range of sanitizers, hand wash, toilet papers, and face masks at your doorstep to safeguard you and your family from coronavirus.
Bottom line, never, ever, ever give your financial information to someone or a business you do not know over the phone. Please, just don't do it. In Seattle, Jesse Jones, Cairo 7 News.
I'm Jesse Jones. He's been doing that for a long time. He looks like a pretty cool guy. But again, this is who I am. I want to like these people. You want to like the fucking newsreader people. You want to like the police. You want to like the politicians. You want to like everybody. Because it's just so much simpler. Hey, how's it going, buddy? Hey, friend. Hey, man. That's who I am. And I know it's not possible. But, of course not with the politicians that we have. Of course not with the news readers that we have. They're horrible. I can't help but be happy. Well, I don't even want to go there. I also have a clip about, the Brazilian president, and then there's a little story at the end of this Brazilian president story that I thought was pretty good, too.
We talked a lot about this shift in the last couple of days from the president saying last week that he wanted to reopen sectors of the economy to now saying we're going to extend these social distancing guidelines through the end of April. Well, in Brazil, it's a different story. The president there, Jair Bolsonaro, says he prioritizes reopening the economy over coronavirus quarantines. He is dismissing the severity of this outbreak despite wearing a face mask in public.
Coronavirus cases are increasing in South America's most populous country, but Brazilian President Jair Bolsonaro says he wants to stop additional quarantine measures. He is wading into crowds at public markets and calling for regenerating the economy by opening schools and businesses. He is also ripping state governors, urging them to roll back isolation measures over what Bolsonaro has dubbed a little flu. According to Johns Hopkins, Brazil by Tuesday had more than 4,600 coronavirus cases. That was up from 2,400 6 days earlier. During that same time, deaths had nearly tripled to 170. Many of Brazil's state governors are defying the president, calling for lockdowns and other measures to slow the spread. Among them is Governor João Doria of Sao Paulo, which includes Brazil's most populous city of the same name. The Associated Press reports that Doria, once a Bolsonaro supporter, is threatening to sue the government if the president disrupts state containment efforts. In a recording of a private meeting obtained by the AP, he told Bolsonaro, "You are the president and you have to set the example. You have to be the representative to command, guide, and lead this country, not divide it." Bolsonaro, who has been wearing a mask at coronavirus press conferences, is now attacking critics for endangering Brazil's economy. He told Doria, "If you don't get in the way, Brazil will take off and emerge from the crisis." Bolsonaro said Brazil should take steps to protect the elderly. Otherwise, he said, if we cower, opt for the easy discourse, everyone stays home, it will be chaos. No one will produce anything. There will be unemployment. Refrigerators will go empty. On Monday, both Facebook and Twitter ordered removal of posts by Bolsonaro that touted a malaria drug's effectiveness in battling the coronavirus. The CDC says the drug can cause severe consequences, including death. For Newsy, I'm Peter Hecht.
But of course, we've seen the FDA quick approve those drugs for testing in certain circumstances. If there's no clinical trial, a doctor can prescribe to somebody who they suspect to have coronavirus. We're awaiting this news conference at the White House, as you see.
I thought there was something at the end of that Brazilian president one. But I guess not. Again, it's hard to know where this is going, what's happening for sure. But it's just better safe than sorry, right? If you don't need to go out and fuck with shit, don't go out and fuck with shit. Just, enjoy your life without worrying about everything for the moment. Because you shouldn't have to worry about everything. It's not going to help to worry about everything. We'll get through it. We're all on the same boat. We have to get through it. Otherwise, the boat tips over and we all drown. So that means we have to get through it. There is no other option. At least that's the way I see it. Okay, so I have, let's see, I have a clip from Tucker, but you know what, last night I posted a Tucker clip and they claimed a copyright on it. So they didn't do a copyright strike, but they said, oh, this is our video. And they didn't say you can't use it, but like Fox News is known to do. But they said that it says that they're watching it. So whatever. Keeping track of the stats. So I'm kind of iffy on the Tucker videos. I don't know that I want to play Tucker videos. If Fox News is gonna be like, oh, he played one of our videos, or anybody else. If the Israeli channel or anybody was to start doing that on a regular basis, I'd be like, I don't think I want to play those videos anymore, because we must protect the archive, even though YouTube refuses to allow anyone to see it anymore. Fucking cunts. Okay, so I have another video about quarantining.
You guys to that quarantine crackdown. Most states have now issued restrictions on business and travel, even telling people to stay home. But some are ignoring those warnings. And now Florida pastor is under arrest after refusing to stop holding large services. TJ Holmes has the story. Good morning, TJ.
Hey, good morning to you. And it's where a lot of people turn in difficult times. They turn to their faith. And for a lot of folks, faith comes with fellowship. That's being together. But right now, during these difficult times, they're told you actually can't be together. In some cases, you legally aren't allowed to be together. Well, one Florida pastor is challenging the idea that a church right now is not an essential business.
A defiant Florida pastor arrested for openly, blatantly violating a ban on large gatherings, continuing to hold Sunday church services.
It's not about a virus. It's about the church being a essential service to the community.
Pastor Rodney Howard Brown of the River Church in Tampa is accused of ignoring local safe-at-home orders, encouraging hundreds of parishioners to show up, even live streaming the church service. You can see Howard Brown preaching to a room full of people, many of them shoulder to shoulder, in total disregard of the CDC's 6 feet social distancing guidelines. A statement issued by an attorney for the pastor says the church took extra health precautions for its Sunday services, including giving attendees hand sanitizer and enforcing a 6-foot distance between family groups. Howard Brown insists he was within his rights.
I'm not ashamed to be arrested for the First Amendment.
But Hillsborough County Sheriff Chad Chronister, who issued the warrant for Howard Brown's arrest, says this is not about freedom of speech.
This safer-at-home order applies to everyone.
Chronister told ABC News that Howard Brown had ignored several warnings from law enforcement.
He refused repeated requests to please don't put 400 or 500 people in danger, to where they then go home and put thousands more in danger with the possible spread of this COVID-19 virus.
But Howard Brown is not the only one disregarding the dangers of large gatherings. In New York City, which has the highest number of people testing positive for COVID-19, crowds of people also ignoring social distancing, flocking to see the Navy hospital ship, the USNS Comfort. Meanwhile, campuses are empty as colleges have shifted to online instruction, but Liberty University in Lynchburg, Virginia, reopened last week. Liberty acknowledges having 3 students that tested positive for coronavirus, but says none of them are students living on campus.
Now, Pastor Howard Brown did bail out of jail. Unclear what he's going to do this upcoming Sunday. Now, only a handful of states around the country have an exemption that still allows houses of worship to still gather. But, George, it does bring up an interesting debate people are having. Why is it that a liquor store would be considered an essential business in some places, but a church in these difficult times is not? George.
That is a question, TJ, but we do have another cautionary tale right now. It's about a choir practice in Washington State that took a tragic turn. You know, despite practicing social distancing, 45 people who showed up have now tested positive or are showing symptoms of coronavirus, and 2 members have died. Eva Pilgrim has the latest. Good morning, Eva.
Good morning, George. When this choir decided to have practice, people were talking about coronavirus, but no one in their county had gotten sick yet. What they couldn't see was the virus was already there. They just didn't know it. This morning, they're warning to people everywhere.
A Washington choir practice turns deadly.
All the indications for us were that we didn't have to worry yet. There were no cases in Skagit County reported at that point.
When choir director Adam Burdick planned their Tuesday, March 10th practice, no warnings were out. The day of their practice, that changed.
The very morning of this meeting, we had a Board of Health meeting, County Board of Health meeting, and we had declared a public health emergency, and we had made social distancing recommendations. But that wasn't information that was disseminated yet.
The choir, seen here in this photo from 2019, was unaware of the changes and went on with rehearsal.
Well, we had sent out a broadcast email to everyone in the group that said, if you are ill, don't come to the rehearsal.
We were greeted with hand sanitizers. Nobody shared music.
We set up folding chairs for our rehearsals, and those were set up with 3 times the distance between chairs as we normally have.
3 days later, on Friday, the first signs of coronavirus.
I had a headache. My husband had this fever would reoccur.
I heard from 20 people probably within a day or 2 that they were all getting sick also.
Now, nearly 3 weeks later, 45 of the 60 people who came to that choir practice have either been diagnosed with COVID-19 or have gotten sick with the symptoms. 3 have been hospitalized. 2 are dead.
It can just happen. That's scary.
The choir's story once again raising concerns this virus could be airborne. But ER Dr. Darren Sutton says that is not the case, instead saying it's likely someone in the group was asymptomatic.
The act of singing is expelling respiratory droplets. If you can imagine, you take a deep breath when you sing and you expel air while you're actively singing. This can expose people near you to the virus very easily.
And the choir agreed to talk to us this morning because they want people to know how contagious this is. All of those members telling us they didn't realize that singing would put them more at risk, and they want people to know, take these warnings seriously, even if you aren't seeing it in your area yet. Robin.
Yeah.
Right, so we have Chris from Olympia on the phone. Hey, Chris, how are you doing?
Hey, Mike, I'm doing really well, and I'm sorry I missed the 3-way.
Oh well, it was interesting.
Yeah, man. So I had an opportunity to follow the chat and listen to the conversation, and it was a pretty interesting conversation, and I'm glad that it happened. That was great. I like both perspectives.
Yeah, they seemed to really enjoy talking with each other, which was good. It's better. It's better than them, one calling after the other and like criticizing each other over the top.
Yeah. Yeah, it was nice, and the program tonight, in general, has been great program so far. Lots of good clips. So what do you see, Mike, in North Seattle, where you live? Do you see people? I mean, have you been out? When's the last time you walked out of the house?
We went out today. We go out every day, man. I walk okay. Every day.
And have you noticed fewer people on the dog walks or on the walks?
There was originally in the lockdown there was more people out, and now there seems to be much fewer people out.
Much fewer people.
Yeah, like originally when people first did the self-isolation thing, they stopped going to work or whatever. There seemed to be like twice as many people, or maybe even slightly more, out walking than usual, and then now they're gone. So.
Yeah, I've been going to the convenience store once a day, and I speak with the people who work there. And I haven't seen anybody in the parking lot or anybody in the store at all. And all of the like snack foods, which they sell, they're totally stocked. And the soda and the beer is all stocked. And they said that there was very little traffic today. At a main gas station on an intersection, very, very little traffic. And that's what I've also noticed, like in the lot, and just not very many people on the road. Just seems like things have really wound down. And I wonder what the next step would be, because I know that some have complained that this isn't even enough, that we need to even go further to make sure that we have like social isolation or social distancing. So I wonder what measures they would have to take to even decrease the minimal amount of traffic that you see today.
Yeah, well, Craig has a pass from Homeland Security. So that he can go out on the roads in case they lock him down. So I guess that's what the next thing would be, maybe, is locking down of the traffic. I don't know.
Well, does Craig have an old ham radio outfit somewhere in a closet?
He probably does. Why?
Well, that might be useful. That could be useful, because the internet and the cell phones, are only going, they can be up forever, but they can also be turned off when it's convenient.
Yeah.
Like, we'll find out in the next couple of days if there was a rent strike in Denver, Colorado. Like, I think I read something to the effect that 33% of people polled in Denver who are renters were considering rent strike. And tomorrow is April Fool's Day, isn't it? So, that's rent day. It'll be interesting to see if they follow through and what the ramifications are. And if they organized a rent strike in Denver or in Chicago, if they organized a rent strike, it means that they can organize a bigger strike, like a general strike. So it also means that it gives the authorities a way to, shut down the internet. If you shut down a person's access to their friends' Facebook pages, they're not going to be able to, contact their friends and organize a rent strike or a general strike.
Yeah. I think that if they shut down the internet, that will be the end of this government. Honestly.
What if they gave them a very good reason?
There is no good reason.
I was kind of surprised today at the press conference with Donald Trump and the press corps. I watched that this afternoon.
Uh-huh.
And I kept thinking that Donald Trump was doing a good job, that actually, maybe talked to the scientist, and there was this impression that he had a better rapport with the press corps. And I wondered how much of this was being staged after his really horrible performance with the press corps yesterday when he attacked two of the reporters. And then today, he asked the same folks, questions, but he had a much better demeanor about him. And I just get this real creepy feeling of like this creeping authoritarianism that's happening, that we're all seeing. But the fact that I would have any sympathy with Donald Trump whatsoever is kind of scary, the level of propaganda that's going on right now. The president complimenting Governor Cuomo, for example, things like that, which I would never expect to see.
Yeah, everybody looks kind of out of their element. All the news people look like they're kind of, like not right, and Trump seems to be, he seems to be like he's trying. I don't know, dude. I think that. He's in the same place where we're all at, where, we don't know what's going to happen next. And he's trying to look like, put a positive spin on it or something. I don't know. So nobody knows what's going to happen, so he might as well put a positive spin on it. And although he did say, there's this next month is going to be a very, very hard couple weeks or whatever.
Yeah, so I believe today, 700 people died in the United States, over 700 people. And I think over 650 people died yesterday in the United States from the virus or whatnot, diagnosed with COVID-19. So those are the two highest days so far. Obviously those are the two highest days so far. And I think that also is kind of part of the change in the mood, where we're going to start talking about other things besides bodies and ice rinks and bodies and FEMA trucks. The media is going to try and spin this to draw our attention away. We're going to be wondering about what Kim Kardashian has been doing in her apartment. I'm very concerned about that. We're going to be wondering about, how our favorite celebrity on our soap opera is doing, or in my case, John Prine. I was concerned about John Prine yesterday. So a lot of celebrities are going to be thrown in front of us to draw our attention away from the fact that, 800 people, 700 people are dying a day. And as I say that, I'm looking at a read to an article from the New York Post that says that FEMA is sending 85 refrigerated trucks to New York City for COVID-19 bodies. That's in the New York Post today.
Well, there's this never-ending need to it's almost like a sensationalization. This is what I see going on the news. Okay, is like the headline news channel on CNN, right? They have a separate channel which is HLN, which is headline news, and for the last 5 years, 6 years, 8 years, they've been doing less and less and less news. And what they replace the news with, especially these last 2-3 years, has been what South Park refers to as informational. What the fuck was it? Murder porn. Informational murder porn.
Murder porn.
Yeah, and it's all these stories about some husband murdering their wife. They actually have a show on there called Sex and Murder.
All right. I'll watch that. Sex and Murder.
And this is what I'm saying is it's like. And it's always your neighbor or your husband or somebody's just plotting to murder you, And and South Park did a whole episode on it, but I see it, and it's worse and worse. There's only one actual news show on that channel anymore, and that's the Robin Meade, who I've been playing some of her clips the last couple weeks. But that's the only news they do, and all the rest of it is this informational murder porn, and it has something to do with this, sensationalization of murder, it's like, again, this is they're trying, everything is about hyping fear, and your brain sees this murder porn, and it's like, it's like it happened to your neighbor. It's actual, like a real thing. It's not like a traumatization like they're actually doing, and I just
it's a justification for police state too, because it encourages you to be sympathetic with the detective, sympathetic with the police department. So every time you see a police officer on the street, you're imagining that poor detective out on the beat trying to solve that. horrible murder.
Right.
And how could every cop is just like that guy dedicated to his job?
That makes so much sense.
Image in your mind. And television has been doing that for since the beginning of television, since the early 1950s. The Top Show, the detective show, programming Americans to be sympathetic to law enforcement. And in a way, it's worked. 70 years of programming or whatever, because our crime rates have come down. And I mean generationally. Like the crime people experienced in the late 70s, the crime people experienced in the late 90s, the crime that we're experiencing today over generations. Certain types of crime actually have gone down a lot. And whether that's we're just treating each other kindly, or we have respect for the man, or I don't know, we're just changing, we're maybe becoming more compassionate. There might be a lot of different reasons. But one of the reasons that could be argued would be is because we let the man take care of things, and that's why we have less crime. You know what I mean?
Huh. That's interesting.
As an argument. But I would say I think it's more like what's really happened is that after cable TV, and we were united as a nation. So people who live in New York City, or who live in little towns in Kansas, or who live in Southern California, or in Washington, or in Florida, or wherever they live, they all were able to, get the same programming and almost be connected like they were a single country. So I think cable television really unified us in a strange way. When you had I started with 12 channels, but then, and then I remember 50 channels, and then 10 years later, satellite television where you can get hundreds of channels access. Yeah. And it makes us feel more unified. And that happened before the internet, I believe.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Our cultural programming.
Right, we're all getting the same programming at the same time.
And now with the internet, it's even hyper-personal, isn't it? So in a chat room, on a YouTube stream, for example, you can have friendships develop that are personal friendships from people from completely different parts of America and different parts of the world. So it isn't even like we're just unified in a national sense, but we're almost unified in a global sense. And I think you're right. There will be backlash if they take that away from us, but they'll take that away from us in a way that we won't even know it disappeared. We won't even know that it's not there anymore, like the censorship at YouTube, for example.
Yeah.
They'll just slowly, dissonant voices will slowly disappear, which is why live call-in shows like the one that you and Craig do every night are very important, so that people can share their opinions, like Mike and Dwayne did earlier. It's really important.
And it also allows people to express something. If there was something going on, if we had the proper viewership that 118,000 subscriber channel should have, there'd be people calling in from around the world saying, "Did you hear about this?" Or "This is what's going on in my community," in case you guys didn't know,
Yeah, I've always found that to be strange. I've looked at the amount of people who subscribe to your channel and have wondered why the viewership is so low. And I'm sure it's because the algorithms are rigged, and also it's probably based on pay to play. People who pay get a chance to play on the internet, and YouTube is no different. I'm sure there's ways that people can financialize their websites that make them more appealing to YouTube to promote. That was that way with Google advertising for small businesses.
Yeah.
People who paid Google, right? They paid Google, were able to have their ads put at the top of the list. And the more you pay, the more people see your shit. And it isn't like your little THC candies are the best THC candies in the world. It just means that the person who got that ad could sell the most because they had influence and power. And that's the way our system is set up. But anyway, Google and Alphabet, I think, is the same way with information. So alternative outlets, we don't get to hear them. And I noticed the internet, Mike asked the question, has the internet been slow? I've noticed the internet has been slow in just different ways, different times of the day. I can't have as many pages open, and the streaming is slower with broadband cable.
Yeah, well, we're not able to Craig has me not using like half of the backgrounds right now because he says that there's too much motion and they make everything digitized. So, which has to do with the bandwidth right now. So.
Yeah, and it's a good critique of capitalism as well. It's right there because like some countries have like nationalized communications networks, like in Finland and in South Korea, and they have the highest speeds for their internet service because they've used public funds to invest in a national system that provides high speeds at low cost to people. So the internet is prioritized. And in the United States, it's more like it is a monopoly in many places. Like I can only get from Comcast, right? My internet service from Xfinity or Comcast. There isn't an alternative for me to get broadband internet service. So since they have a monopoly, they are allowed to, charge 10, 15, 20% more than maybe they should.
I agree. I think Comcast gets away with murder and that they are charging way more than they should.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what would happen in America? And I don't know how many subscribers Comcast have across the country, but I would imagine it's a lot, scores of millions, if not 100 million people, right? But what if those people just didn't pay their Xfinity bill next month? What if people just didn't pay their Allstate bill next month? What if people just didn't pay their taxes next month? And they all did it together, and they said, you know what? This just didn't work. This coronavirus thing proved that our economy it's not working. And we're not going to pay our bills until we have a chance to talk together to figure out how to make our economy work again. What about that?
I like that idea. I like the idea of everyone saying, we're again. This is what I've been talking about: is everyone coming together and saying, okay, we're not going to deal with this shit anymore. This is done. So I see this as an opportunity for all of humanity to reprioritize. I don't believe that's what will happen, but I do see it as an actual opportunity to make that happen if we could just come together.
It's the closest opportunity that we're going to get. I think that's a reasonable opportunity, right? After a nuclear war, I bet it would be a lot harder. Yeah. Don't you think?
Yeah.
Right? Or like these climate scenarios, which, whatever. What they're discussing is like cities being abandoned, forest fires much more extreme than they were in Australia or in the Amazon, so on and so forth. Living hell, apocalypse now on Earth. So this is actually an opportunity. It's a mild virus. It's going to kill millions of people around the world, but it will give the whole world an opportunity to think about, do we want to go further or do we want to work together to try and resolve these crises? And I think that Trump really needs to change his tune. I read a great article by Pepe Escobar a few days ago. He writes at Asia Times. I've mentioned him before. But he has written about how China has already taken advantage of this crisis by developing closer trade with the Europeans, specifically the Italians. And they've been giving a lot of free stuff to Italy to address their medical crisis. And he said, the PR ramifications of that are really positive because when they have 800 people a day dying in Italy and they can see on the face mask, the Chinese flag with a smiling face saying, hope you get well, it actually means something to their doctors and their nurses and their patients. Likewise, I read tonight that Russia is sending a huge plane full of material to the United States. A mask and protective equipment to the U.S. to help the United States during its crises. And as I mentioned before, Cuba has been exporting doctors to many countries like Jamaica and countries, they grow good herb in Jamaica, Latin America, and other places in Africa. Cuba has been sending doctors to help address COVID-19. So I think the rest of the world is working, and we can work with them. I think they would appreciate us working with them instead of like imposing sanctions on Venezuela, imposing sanctions on Iran, imposing sanctions on Russia, imposing sanctions on China, because they won't abide abide by what we seem to do. These are our rules. Follow our rules. And we're only like 1 out of every 20 people on the fucking planet, dude. For real.
Yeah, no, I
5%.
hate this
5%.
government, dude. You know I hate this government.
I know, but we're only 5% of the world's population, and we could learn a lot from the other 95%, and we can share a lot with them as well. So that's what I'm shooting for. I'm hoping for that, and I believe I'll leave the line after that and let other callers call in. And once again, I want to thank you for a program, and it was really entertaining and interesting listening to Dwayne and Mike talk earlier.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
It was.
All right, well, Chris, it's good to hear from you, and I'm glad you called. I look forward to talking to you again soon, okay?
Yeah, thank you, Mike.
All right.
Have a good night. Peace.
Bye-bye. That's our buddy Chris from Olympia. And let's see, Craig said he worked on one of these videos over here. Which one was he worked on? He worked on.
And the zoo scare caught on camera in Dublin. 7-year-old Sean was posing for a picture in front of an animal enclosure.
Fucking tiger. What are you talking about?
Fucking
tiger!
At the glass. The family says Sean was startled. 7-year-old Sean was posing for a picture in front of an animal enclosure when a full-size Siberian tiger lunges at the glass. The family says Sean was startled, but they are just grateful for the glass safety window. 7-year-old Sean was posing for a picture in front of an animal enclosure when a full-size...
So, Craig did that. Craig got that cruise ship out of the fucking tiger video. Gives me an excuse to play the fucking tiger video. And I'm going to skip the Tucker clip tonight because, like I said, they claimed copyright last night on the clip, and I don't like that. You know, this is a news show that's a news clip, you know, and I'm disseminating information. It's what I do. This is a news service, a very well-known news service. And, you know, it's not my bad that YouTube, that the management of YouTube is so horrible. You know, that they can't make sure that my 100,000 subscribers know that we're live at this moment because they're fucked up. So I'm gonna skip the Tucker clip and I am going to go get a food unless there's a caller. If there's not a caller, I'm going to go get a food. Because I haven't had a food for a while. So I'm going to give it just a minute here. See if there's a caller. Otherwise, we are out of here. Aha! Hello, caller.
What's good, Hollywood? Hey, how's it going, Moxie? This is Michelle.
Hi, Michelle. I'm good. How are you doing, Shug?
Just fucking around, man. I was listening to your wake music. I was over here popping and locking, man.
Oh,
I was like, fuck yeah, man. Shit.
I'm not sure what he has on there, but yeah.
Yeah, it's real groovy, dude. Real groovy. Felt like I was at the Brady Bunches.
Yeah.
Yeah, how you doing? Hey, I haven't. Just so you know, right now, I haven't looked at any news all day long. I hadn't looked at nothing on fucking YouTube about that shit. I've been watching funny videos and everything all day, and it just felt good to unplug. So I'm lost of anything you did, and so I'm late getting to the show too. I just really got here right now. You know, so I just wanted to say hi and see how you're doing today.
Right on, Michelle. I am good. Everybody seems to be
so fighting each other like fucking idiots.
Actually, Dwayne and Michael had a call tonight where they were on a three-way call and they actually talked to each other.
Stop! That is so fucking cool.
Yeah. So Dwayne and Michael from Southern California were
okay.
So what's going on, Shug? Is everything okay where you're at?
Yeah. As much as can be expected, just laying low.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah, going out for the necessities and just, doing stuff around the house.
It sounds like you're enjoying a break for a minute.
Yup.
Good.
Yeah. I think that's why I lost track of time, man.
Yeah. No, that's a really good thing to not keep track of time, Michelle. I think this thing where people are looking at the clock all the time makes them kind of crazy,
Yeah, just put that fucker to bed, man.
Yeah.
No, until your fucking boss says, hey, this is when you gotta show up, then break the clocks out. Other than that, shit, just put a black cover over it. Don't worry about that shit. Turn all your alarms off on your phone and just fucking relax, man.
Yeah.
There's plenty of time for that alarm clock bullshit, but right now, I'm taking advantage of it, Mike.
That's awesome. I'm glad to hear it. You should be. That's what I'm telling everybody to do, I mean, you got to find the silver lining and fucking, you got to enjoy what there is to enjoy, Michelle. That's what the facts are.
It's horrible what the hell's going on and everything. Don't think I'm being all fucking like, I don't care. But in Italy, it's like, you look at their canals and everything, they're all fucking clear now. It's like dolphins are swimming in their canals. They're seeing swans and all this shit.
Yeah.
And they're like, because of the tourists is the ones that go on the gondola rides and fucking turn up all that fucking mud and shit and muck,
Yeah.
And it's like now everybody's like looking out their windows, the ones that got the view are seeing all this different wildlife coming back to be true. It's like, man, that should make you think of something like, if we would just slow the fuck down, maybe, maybe we can enjoy this shit. I mean, it's just like a silver lining, right?
Yeah, that's what. If we have the priorities right, we could make it so that there was always dolphin in those canals. But that's not the priority, Michelle.
And it's never been. It's always been about oil. Let's slack everything up, and they sure are.
Yeah.
And they wonder why there's so many fucking earthquakes in the world, and they're fracking underneath. It's something to where you have a fucking pipe coming down, and it explodes horizontal. So you're gonna blow up that area under the earth, and you don't think that the earth is gonna settle somehow and create an earthquake? Like, wake the fuck up, man. Is that really worth it? The way they fucking shale and everything out there, it's ridiculous. It's like, we're not making oil just for us, so we're making it to sell, but we get the fucking, the backlash from the environment saying, bitch, water and oil don't mix, and it's so fucked up, man. But today I decided, like, you know what, I'm not going to get into all this shit. Let me just breathe and just have a good day and not worry about what it is.
Yeah. Yeah, no, breathe. That's one of the things I keep saying, Michelle. You got to remember to breathe. That's for sure.
Hell yeah, people need to relax too, man. It's just like, fuck. You're not going to get this time again. Take advantage of it and rest. You should be with your family. If you don't fucking like them, too bad. You need to be with your family and just fucking relax and just rest. Go in the garage, go in the backyard, whatever you got to fucking do. But just take a breather, man. It's like, whatever's going to happen is going to happen, but just stay away from motherfuckers, and you're going to be all right, man. You got to to the store, go to the fucking store, but don't be stupid. Don't go licking cart handles and just, come on.
Yeah.
We got to be smart about this shit.
Yeah, just be better safe than sorry. That's what you need to have echoing in your head right now, and just move forward with that in your head. Better safe than sorry.
Yeah, so that's why today I decided I felt like I was like up to my eyelids and just, everybody's dying, everybody's getting it and everything. I'm just like, okay, is there really going to be a difference from today to tomorrow? Just take one day off, people. Take one day off to fucking just get away from all that shit and just do something that makes you fucking laugh. No matter what it is, a video, whatever, just do something to make you laugh and get your mind off of this shit. Because tomorrow, when you want to catch up, you're going to see all that shit happen today.
Yeah.
And it's the same shit every fucking day.
Yeah, it is. That's what I was saying. You know, yesterday, Michael kept saying, hey, did you see this story yesterday? And I'm like, no, dude, I'm trying not to watch the news on the weekend. Because I check to make sure that there's not anything, you know, like a major event happening. But I'm not going to sit there and just watch the death toll fucking rise. You know, fuck that.
You can't do that. And you can't do that. You got to just take a breath, you know, breath of fresh air, and just forget what the fuck is going around you. You know, until you know that, okay, it's okay for you to go back to work and do whatever. Until then, you're a prisoner in your own fucking mind. Just fucking relax. Just fucking relax. I know it's hard, but if it's out of your control, what are you doing? You're wasting your fucking time by worrying about bullshit. Just fucking chill. And today was my chill day. I was just like, you know what? I felt like I was watching too much news. I felt like I was seeing all those dire straits, like boom, boom, bombarding me, man. Yeah. So I was like, you know what? Let me take a step back today. And I felt it within myself because it started overcoming my own character, which I'm all like happy-go-lucky. I'll fucking go get mine and everything. I take care of business. Yeah. But it's out of my control. And a lot of people are hurting because they like to be in control of their lives. Yeah. Who doesn't? But there's a fucking point to where they're saying, step back, people, take a breather. And the next round, when we're ready to go back to work, we're going to go full force. It's what we always do, man. Chill, man. Real.
And the truth is that if you can take a little extra time, you know, get a little extra sleep. They say that sleep really helps people to heal and be more healthy. So, and a lot of people work and run and burn the candles at both ends all the time so hard they don't get sleep. So if you can try and make up a little extra sleep right now, even though that's not being productive necessarily, I think it's very much worth a minute just to relax, like Michelle is saying, and get cozy, warm, comfy, and just take an extra long nap. That's all. Go ahead, Michelle.
And it's because it's like, how can you be productive? It's like when you were in fucking school, they told you what to learn, what to do. You got to go at, you know, this class at this amount of time. You got to go to the next one. Okay, now we're in real life. It's the same shit. The fucking job says, no, we're closed down because we're not essential. Okay, you deal with that shit. There's people out there that are at the grocery stores and the doctors and nurses and all that shit that are like, they're, you know, taking care of this shit. But we cannot fucking lose our minds because, I don't know, I'm so used to being away from the family and now I gotta actually talk to my family. Like, shut the fuck up, relax. Relax, people. Because it's gonna come a time when you're gonna get your wish and not see your family. Because most of us are always at fucking work and we see our job's products more than we see our family. And you know what? You should be ashamed of yourself because that's the way you want to go back. Enjoy the time that you have now. Because we're not going to get this kind of fucking time with our families, you know, once everything starts going again. And everything will start going again. So people need to just fucking relax, take a breather. If it's out of your control, it's out of your control. Unless you're a boss of a corporation and is more than willing to put your employees in danger and just get the fuck to work. Some may die, some may not die. You know, who gives a fuck? It's just like, come on, people, relax. You know, the bills and all the finances and everybody's going to be in a fucking hole after this because of our fucking government. But it's out of our control. What are you going to do?
Just stay cool, like you're saying, Michelle. Just stay cool, and we'll get through it one way or another. We always do. And then, you know, and we're all in the same boat. So, you know, I mean, it's not like they can't, they can just, you know, it's not, what I'm saying when I say we're all in the same boat is that, you know, if we sink, then we all sink together. You know, it's not like, so don't, you know, so don't overthink it right now. And you know, be safe than sorry. Better safe than sorry. Just keep it simple. Better safe than sorry. Keep that in your mind and move forward doing what it is that you need to do. And otherwise, you know, stay as safe as possible. Go ahead, Michelle. Yeah.
You know, it's like I sent home, money and shit like that, and I can't do that right now. It's driving me crazy. But then I'm like, well, there's nothing I can fucking do about that shit.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, and they're figuring it out as well. And it's just, this is a learning thing. It's like, okay, we all fucking make do with what we got, but just calm down. Yeah. It's not going to change anything if you're going to be frantic and, oh my God, I got about the last toilet paper ever created in the world. Like, relax, man.
Yeah.
Jeez, I know it's horrible what the fuck is going on, and people are just like not knowing what they're doing because you got a fucking leader that don't even know what the fuck he's saying half the fucking time. So of course everybody's scared. I'm not scared. I believe that, you know what? If it's my time, it's my fucking time. I'm not looking for trouble. But if it's my time, it's going to be my time. And this is no different than anything else the United States has gone through, man. Come on, Americans, like fucking buckle up, man. Goddamn. Just fucking relax. And like I said, it felt good to me to just not look at anything that had to do with the coronavirus today, because I'm just like, I get it. Yeah. I got it. And there's more smashing in your face. Hey, by the way, it's just like, no. I know that horrible things are happening to people, but that's not going to be the only fucking thing I think about either.
Yeah. No, Michelle, I go out every day, I walk, I'm like, wow, what a pretty day. Look at the trees, look at the blue sky,
Mm-hmm. Enjoy your life, because how is it that when a loved one dies and everybody's like, well, they would want you to continue your life and to actually live your life. It's the same shit as what's going on now. It's just like I'm devastated to the people that have, died through this virus and everything. But yeah, I'll say a little prayer for them and everything, but I'm going to move on. I can't fucking hold on to that. Because everybody that dies is going to weigh on you, and it's just like, okay, you're never going to get up now.
Yeah, I hear you, Michelle. I agree 100%. You have to keep moving forward. And if those people are in your heart, then they'll always be in your heart. It's not like they're going to disappear from your heart. So
Exactly. But the thing is, like, you hear about strangers that have passed away and everything else. It doesn't make it any less, like morality-wise. It doesn't make it any less. But yet it's like, okay, say a prayer, rest in peace, and everything. But you gotta move on. You can't be sad all fucking day because, John Doe fucking passed away over here. You don't even fucking know him, but you know what? God rest his soul. For whatever the fuck he did in his lifetime, karma came a knocking. I'm sorry, Mike. That was probably bad.
And well, the main thing is you just don't want to just focus on this death thing, constantly, nonstop, 24/7, because it's just so negative. You're never going to be able to enjoy things, and you're not even going to be able to be aware of what's going on properly because you're just so entranced by this fucking and you see it in the faces of these people that read these news readers, the prostitutes, the mainstream media news anchor people. It's almost like they salivate. They're ghouls. They're like, oh, another 500 people died today. It's like that. It's the more people that die, the more people that watch them, and they're like, oh, can't more people than 500 die today? It's disgusting.
We talked about that shit in the fucking chat, man. Talking about the Eagles' dirty laundry. It's like, hit them when they're up, hit them when they're down. Fuck yeah, everybody loves dirty laundry. It's like shit, man, and that's true, and it's a damn shame. But that's why I decided today when I woke up, I felt like, okay, I feel good and just felt like, nothing is wrong in the world. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. Okay, let me just get the fuck off all this shit, And I did all day long and I felt great. And then that's why I had to call you because I'm like, man, sometimes, Mike, people have to just get away from all that shit all day long. That's what I got you for, to inform me of all that bullshit. And that's hard work, Mike. That's hard work. It takes a toll, bro. It takes a toll.
Well,
you've been doing this how many fucking years?
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah.
God. My hat's off to you, for real.
It can be really difficult sometimes. Sometimes I'm just like, I see the news and I'm just like, just anything, any other channel, just put it on. I can't look, just put it on any other fucking channel. I can't look at the news right now, you know. I mean, literally, if I focus on it for 30 seconds, I'm probably gonna puke, you know.
Man, there's no sunshine and roses in the news anymore, man. It's all about fear factor.
Yeah, now it's horrible.
All fucking peasants, we're gonna scare all you to death, you motherfuckers, because you guys ain't worth shit. But still keep paying your taxes because we need the rich to not pay theirs. Ooh, motherfuckers, man. That's why I had to escape from that shit today, and I was just like, nah, I don't know what. Nothing important about this day, just something that I felt like, let me decompress, if you will.
Yeah,
you know?
For sure.
Mm-hmm. So I feel like people, maybe they want to do that shit and fucking just relax and just know if it's out of your control, you can't go to work, therefore you can't pay your fucking bills. What are you going to do? It's out of your fucking control. You can call people, call your friends, your family. Maybe they can help you. And if they can't, then you know what? We're all in the same fucking boat.
Yeah.
Because what they offered as a stimulus package is just like, my gosh, it's a damn shame. But you know there's going to be a stimulus package number 2 coming up.
Yeah, they're already talking about that. Yeah.
Well, absolutely, man, because they can't get away with what they just did. You know, well, they can because they did. But I'm saying is that the next stimulus package, that might be maybe a tenth, you know, more towards us, which is more than what the fuck they just did.
Yeah.
You know, so we can just hope for that shit and just pray like, hey, man, we all do what we're supposed to do. We all do the right thing.
Well, Michelle, they have to do a fucking a rent and mortgage moratorium, you know, so that people don't lose their apartments, their houses, their homes. They don't lose their businesses. And that's really all they have to do is to just say, okay, no one has to make this big giant financial payment that they always worry they have to make every month, and that way you know you'll get through it, you know, because you're not going to lose your home, you're not going to lose your business, you know.
Yeah, this is going to wake up a lot of people's minds and heads, you know, like, hey, wake up. We're the ones that are looking out for you when this is something out of your control. We didn't plan this shit, get it? We did not plan this pandemic. We didn't do this shit, but we got to roll with the punches, so we got to do, you know, with what we have, and we'll figure it out. You know, we'll figure it out. We always fucking do. Every time they pull this bullshit, we always get out of it. Well, it was just like, okay, motherfucker, America, government.
What it is, Michelle, is that we always get through it. No matter how deep a shit we get ourselves into, we always get through it. And one way or another, we'll get through this. So over hyper worry is only gonna give you gray hair and upset tummy.
Yeah, you're right, Mike, because a lot of countries are laughing at us because of our president shit. But you know what? He doesn't represent us. Us Americans are fucking strong as hell. We've been fucking living and dealing and surviving through all these years of all these presidents taking a little bit away from us at a time. We all still surviving. So just like this, we will all fucking survive too and come out better to hopefully being that people realize that this government is not thinking about you. They're thinking about your fucking, you know, your employers. And yeah, let's give them a big fucking, you know, a big amount of money, and then they'll give it to you guys. Yeah, sure, you know. But you know what? The good thing is that Trump is going to have his own investigation team to make sure the money goes where it's supposed to go. It's okay, people. It's okay. It's all going to be all right, man. It's all going to be all right. So don't piss off your fucking neighbor, motherfucker, because he may need more than a cup of sugar. Huh? Shit. Fucking, we all got this, though. We're going to be all right.
Well, we're all in the same boat, and I don't think we're all ready to go down go down together. So, we'll pull it out one way or another.
The blazing, Mike, is what we're going to go down.
Yeah, there you go. That's what I'm saying.
All right, brother. Well, I just want to touch base with you and just let you know why I was so late to your show. And sorry I missed it.
Hey, I'm glad you're having a good day. That's what matters.
Man, we all should. Breathe what you can, goddammit.
That's what matters.
It's going to be like fucking, for real. We're going in, coming in hot.
Yeah.
Coming in hot. So relax, Americans, man, relax. Live your fucking life. They give you time off. Whoa, geez, you're going to have to learn how to fucking relax. How about that? It's going to be all right, Mike. It's going to be all right.
I agree, Michelle.
All right, brother. I'll talk to you later then.
Okay, talk to you soon. Thanks for calling.
All right, sweetie. Bye-bye.
That's our buddy Michelle from Texas, and she sounds like she's having a good day. Again, on the weekends, I try not to watch the news. I check in to make sure that there's not an event going on. But I'm not going to sit here and just droll through, at this moment anyways. It's like Michelle saying, you got to have a break. So don't be doing the news 24/7. It will give you an ulcer. Hello, caller.
Hey, Michael. I just want to be quick. I want you to go get your food, dude. But I want to remind everybody this is an unprecedented global event, and don't get used to it. We don't want to be boiling frogs, just kind of getting used to every tragedy that happens to us, and never protesting and never researching. In your chat, I'm sure you got at least 3-4 good researchers, and I think what's probably going to happen is the governments, that would be China and the U.S., is probably going to try to whitewash this whole global poisoning event and the deaths of, India is predicting, I think, 100, or I don't know, 20 or 30 million deaths in India alone because they're way short on respirators. They got 20,000 respirators for 1-point-something billion people. All that death and the shutdown of the global economy is not nothing that we gotta, laugh at or pass off or say, oh, everything will go back to normal. It's not going back to normal. I'm not preaching fear. I don't want people to be afraid. I want people to take action. So if every smart person, because, technically I'm a generalist, I study everything, and I'm only really good at a couple of subjects, but when a big tragedy like this happens, whether it's 9/11 or COVID-19 or the shoot down of a passenger jet, I go into it and I try to find out the truth about it. Now, I got a little deficit because I'm not a virologist, but I'm betting you that within, it's already happening, but within a couple of months, you're going to see a lot of investigation into the actual mechanics of how viruses work and how you can trace a virus. Is there a signature? Is there a laboratory signature? Is there a country of origin? Is that possible? Because the story that is coming out of China, the bat to pangolin theory, it's not really holding up so far, and there's a lot of smart people looking into it. And I'm leaning towards the fact that this is a bioweapons lab release, an accidental release, and if the human race doesn't clamp down on this bioweapons bullshit, it's going to happen again. So that's my main message, is don't stand for this shit. Something good can happen out of this, this could be a wake-up call for humanity. We can not just clamp down on bioweapons, but we can clamp down on the military-industrial complex. We can clamp down on corrupt governments. We can clamp down on the banks. We can use this calamity to our own advantage if we get together, organize, and really rise to our full potential. And I'm not preaching fear. I'm preaching bravery, and that's my commitment. And that's what I want to say, man. It's like, enjoy your life and enjoy the shutdown, and try to stay alive, because a lot of people are hurting. But and take precautions, because it's not some fake virus. But they are stacking the statistics. Everybody who dies is automatically getting thrown into the COVID-19 category, and they're covering up the real story. So you're going to see a lot of people, James Corbett, Luke Rudowski, really diving into this in the next months coming ahead. So I don't want people to forget that it's not okay to fuck up planet Earth, and you have a right to stand up, and you have a right to lift your hand up and put your big finger in the face of government and say, fuck you, I'm not taking this shit anymore. It's my planet. So, 5G is another issue, but I don't want people to forget. This is an unprecedented event. Don't be a boiling frog. Don't get used to it. Now is the time. And good shit's going to happen if we do that. And that's all I want to say, Mike. Go grab some pizza or something.
I'm going to go get some food. All right. Well, yeah, I agree too. I mean, we'll get, like I'm saying, just in your head, you want to say better safe than sorry right now. That's the way you want to play this. That's what you want. If you're questioning whether I should do this or that, you say better safe than sorry, and that'll let you know what you should do. All right?
Okay, bro. I'll talk to you later.
Okay, thanks for calling. And I look forward to those reports on where this shit came from. I do.
We should really be looking into that, because we are human beings. We're not lemmings, okay? Okay, Mike, take care.
Okay, talk to you soon. Bye. That's our buddy Michael from Southern California. And I am out of here. I'm hungry. I'm going to get some food. So thanks so much for tuning in. We're doing this every Monday through Friday at 7 p.m. Pacific time until whenever. As long as we have callers anyways. And we'll be here tomorrow night, same Mox time, same Mox channel. I hope we see you there, because always better when you are here. And never forget, one of these days this war is going to end. Stay cool until that day.
No matter which mouth you feed on a two-headed snake, it still shits the same turd. But lucky for you, you have Mox News. More than 10 years. More than 60,000 videos. Mox News has been filtering the nonsense and illuminating the bullshit from your mainstream media. Turn off your TV and turn on to Mox News. For over a decade, documenting the socio-political events that have etched and carved the pathways that define today's modern mess, Mox News has been providing clarity while faithfully bringing you today's relevant stories 100% commercial-free and subscription-free. And just like Lady Liberty vows to remain free. But at this time, we're asking you for your help, your patronage, and your support to keep the lights on and the videos rolling. For less than 17 cents per day, you can become a basic subscriber, knowing that your donation is truly making a difference that will help continue bringing the news stories that make a difference in your life. Turn on, tune in, and drop a couple dimes today by clicking the link below or visiting moxnews.com and show your support at any level. From a single one-time donation or dedicated monthly subscriber, do it now in less than 2 minutes. All donations are safe, securely processed, and verified using PayPal, Visa, MasterCard, American Express, or Discover Card. As always, we're sure you'll find something of interest each and every day. This holiday season, give the gift of Mox. moxnews.com.